Yeah, we're going to do our absolute best. Let's just forward and make some bait on top of the hill. You just got to knock them off.
Robert Madison and the Bulldogs might well not show up because it's going to be a cakewalk when we get to Birmingham.
Championship, what you play for.
You know, when we played Doug back in September, early September, I came back into the locker room and I told my guys, fellas, if we take care of our business, we'll meet them again. Grambling should have an arrogance about themselves. I mean, they're two-time defending SWAC champions, National Black College champion, Coach of the Year, you name it, they've done it. This here is a new opportunity. This is a new opportunity for us to get another shot at them, if you will. It's a new opportunity for us to kind of put our name out there. This is my shot, if you will. And so I think it's going to be a great ball game. I think it's going to be very competitive.
Our defensive scheme is all about doing your job first, and then the plays will come to you. It's all about just getting redemption and just doing what we know we can do. The first time we faced them, we beat ourselves. We know that. You know, despite what people may see or think, we know within ourselves what we can do and what we can accomplish. I have to be on top of my game so the rest of my teammates won't get nervous or, you know, because if they see their leaders shaking up, they'll follow suit.
They want to run the football and control the game. In our case, we know Mathis is there, but we can't go out and say we got to do this because Mathis is there and disrupt what we've been doing all season. I've been in the big dance. I've got it done, won MVP. I think they want to play hard. I think they want to win championships. And that's one thing we always talk about. Somewhere along the line, that roller coaster, there's a slope in there that goes down here. And I really think we hit that slope at the Bayou Classic. And now, hopefully, that roller coaster is on its course back up. He got an uncanny way of leadership ability because everybody likes him. I call him a Philadelphia lawyer because he knows everything. He's a locker room lawyer. Nobody's saying anything that he don't know. And I think the guys rally around him.
We started to erupt our offense, putting up a lot of points, putting up big numbers, breaking single-season records, breaking team single-season records. So, yeah, now everybody around the league like, you know, you told us that and we didn't believe you. And opposing SWAC coaches and players around the league, they laughed at me because they were like, you're not making that fat quarterback. He hasn't did anything. You better, you know, get you another quarterback. And so that basically fired him up.
Yeah, the scene has been set. This is the scene, Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, for the SWAC Championship. As the champions of the East, the Alabama A&M Bulldogs take on the West Champs and the Tigers of Grambling State. Hello, everybody. I'm George Johnson. This is a classic matchup of the immovable force taking on the unstoppable force. You take a look at the numbers of these two teams coming in. You see Grambling State offensively. I mean, almost 355 yards in the air they get per game, averaging almost 40 points per contest. You look at A&M's numbers, and you can tell, well, they win with defense. Joining me, as usual, is my broadcast partner, Don McPherson. You know, when you talk about Grambling State and you talk about all the talent that has been at this school in the past, this might be the most prolific offense they've ever seen, thanks to this man right here, Bruce Eugene.
And Bruce Eugene has been outstanding throwing the football, all different types of passes, especially the deep ball. And what he needs to do today is get the ball to that man right there, number 5, Tremone Douglas, who has been so outstanding after the catch. When you look at Tremone Douglas's numbers, you realize so much of that has happened after the catch.
Now, Bruce Eugene coming into this game, I mean, he's talking a whole lot of stuff, you see, but if he's not careful, he could get punched in the mouth by this Alabama A&M defense, and the guy with the biggest fist is this kid right here, Robert Mathis. Mathis.
Robert Mathis is an explosive force coming off the corner. He causes so much havoc in the backfield and putting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks and tackles behind the line of scrimmage. But the problem for Grambling State is not if they can block him, but what happens when they do, because right behind him is Jamal Ware, who has also been tremendous and putting a lot of pressure in the backfield.
You know, it's been a couple of years since A&M has been in this championship game, but this is familiar territory for the Grambling State Tigers. For more on that, let's go down to the field. Back in the house is my man, Joe Claire.
Well, they finally got me back. You know, for the championships, you got to go get the best. Now, we talking about offense, defense, X's and O's and all that other stuff. None of that counts. You know what counts? This. This is what it's all about. This trophy right here. Now, the people, I talked to the people over there at A&M, they say they are tired of Doug Williams and the Grambling people taking this trophy back. They said they taking it home with them regardless. They don't care if they lose today, they take. They said if they got to kidnap somebody, this trophy is going home with them. I'm going to see what's happening, man. Back up to y'all. We're going to watch, see what happens, get it crunk all day on the field.
All right, JC. Well, obviously, Grambling State, they're looking for a second straight victory over A&M this season. They won earlier, 23-13. The revenge for A&M coming up after this.
Today's SWAC Championship Football Game is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares, and by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers, and by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
So, how was Florida?
Nice.
A lot of pretty girls on the beach?
Yep.
Probably wearing bikinis, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty girls in bikinis.
Right now, fly Southwest Airlines for just $39 to $99 each way when you purchase by December 16th. So get packing.
You are now free to move about the country.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. From our family to yours, we wish you a very safe and happy holiday season.
That's nice. Girl, that's very nice. Yeah. Me? Listen, why don't you say something? Ask him. Fine.
What are you doing?
My friends wanted me to ask, could you move? You're like in our way.
After the Chevy Trailblazer, everything else just seems kind of weak. Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
Hey, yo, my man, what's up with all the neck braces? It's that new Smiles and South Star CD. It's a headbanger.
The debut album from Smiles and South Star, Crash the Party, featuring the smash singles Tell Me and Who Wants This, in stores now on Artist Direct Records.
Welcome back to Legion Field, where the Tigers and the Bulldogs kicking things off here in our SWAC Championship game, and immediately coming right back for Alabama A&M and picking up substantial yards where they start off 1st and 10 at the 40. And Johnny Keith now will take to the field, one of two quarterbacks that Anthony Jones likes to use throughout the course of a football game. And Keith comes in, a true freshman from Mobile, Alabama, as we now take a look at our starting lineups. Our starting lineups are brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. Get to that in a second. On 1st and 10 at the 42. And immediately going to the tailback, that's Melvin Gideon, who picks up about 4 yards. Now let's take a look at those starting lineups by Budweiser. Starting with the offense, Robertville Lewis is a first-team all-SWAC selection. Nolan, LaCroix, Woodard, and Wilson. Ronald Wilson, a 3-year starter on this offensive line for the Bulldogs. The backs, Melvin Gideon. Jonathan Rowland is a versatile fullback. Neil Lindsay, a veteran who can do so many things. And Nicholas Wells having a breakout season. Jacob Wilson also second team all SWAC. Second down now. Make it 6, I formation. And Keith completing his first pass of the ball game.
He's down.
This one goes to Nicholas Wells, as I said, having a huge season this year for the Bulldogs. Meanwhile, Lawrence, Patton, Gray is an all-SWAC selection. Calvin Arnold on the defensive front for Grambling State. The linebackers, Ron Johnson is the leading tackler for this team. Burton and Smith on the outside. Dave Gray is a very solid safety at the strong position. Aaron Bridges steps in as the free safety in place of a very good player in Denmark Reed, who has been suspended from the team for violating team rules, as it is now third down. Looks like a flag has been thrown, or they're still waiting to set things up out on the field.
Penalty, a little bit of discussion here. I'm not sure what it was. They waved the penalty off, so they're going to replay second down. Oh no, they called motion against.
Repeat second down.
Doug Williams, and there's Anthony Jones, the coach of Alabama A&M. Two guys that know each other extremely well. We'll explore that in just a second, but he's now second down, and because of the penalty, 2nd and 11. Just underway here in our SWAC championship game, as Keith decides to hold on to the football, tries to run up the middle, brought down by the middle linebacker Ron Johnson, the senior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Well, that's the position right there that Alabama A&M cannot afford to be in all day long. They don't have the offense. Johnny Keith is not the kind of quarterback who's going to stand in the pocket and throw the ball 15, 20 yards down the field. So they need to stay out of those second and long, even kills them, because now they're third and long, and the QB draw was a predictable play.
Keith has completed just 34% of his passes on third down now. A&M has converted on just 27% of their opportunities this season. And that one almost picked off. But it isn't. But Michael Degray is defensively back there, as was Octavius Bond, number 8, who almost came up with it. Should get a good look right there at Degray, the sophomore from Baton Rouge, who really has to bring this secondary together with, like I said, Denmark Reed having been suspended from the club.
Well, they're definitely going to be sitting on those shorter routes because, again, Johnny Keith is not the guy who's going to throw the ball vertical.
George Piggott, the young man from Williamsburg, Virginia, back deep to receive that punt. He's going to let this one bounce. It takes a Bulldog bounce inside the 15-yard line, finally down to the 10. So A&M, after the 48-yard punt, pinning Grambling State deep in their own territory. We'll find out if Bruce Eugene can back up that talk when we get back.
Which are your colors? What brightens up your day? What is your passion? What puts a smile on your face? Laughter is the music of the soul. It's your way of telling the world you can be happy, that you live in full color. Being true to yourself is what you really enjoy. Be you. Budweiser. True.
Hey, yo, my man, what's up with all the neck braces? It's that new Smiles and South Star CD. It's a headbanger.
The debut album from Smiles and South Star, Crash the Party, featuring the smash singles Tell Me and Who Wants This. In stores now on Artist Direct Records. What you think?
Welcome back to Birmingham. George Johnson along with Don McPherson and Joe Clare. The best of our PET family as we bring you the SWAC championship between Alabama A&M and Grambling State. It's the Tigers of Grambling State with the football. And first and 10, there's Jamal Ware. There's Jamal Ware.
Talked about Jamal Ware in the open. So quick is he right off the ball.
It's Starting quarterback for Grambling State is Bruce Eugene. As you can see, has thrown for over 4,000 yards. As we take a look at our Budweiser starting lineups for Grambling State and their offense. James, Riley, Wright, Rogers, and Ogletree on the front. A very experienced group and a solid one at that. Delvin Lewis they have listed there as the running back. You're going to see a lot of Correll Charles, though, in this football game, as well as Lindsey Sanders. And, of course, that man right there, Bruce Eugene, the sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana, who's already broken his head coach's single-season passing record at Grambling State. Second down. And look at the Tigers again, offensively attacking. As we now go to the defensive side of the football and their starting lineup. It all starts up front with Hardy, Hassan, Harris, and of course the guy we talked about, Robert Mathis, your SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. Ware, Trevorus Nunn, the former fullback, now middle linebacker along with Mobley. Henry Freeman missed a lot of the beginning of the season, injured, battling injuries, but he is a solid cornerback. And Levenante Turner, the safety, keep your eye on him, he's number 30. But there's Robert Mathis right there, the senior from Atlanta, Georgia, whose numbers absolutely outstanding. After the first down play, Grambling State now working on another first down. And it looks like they get it as they complete the pass over the middle.
You know, if you go back in your memory of Doug Williams with the Washington Redskins and how many of his numbers came from those short little passes to guys like Sanders and Monk and those guys that he gets the ball to and they take it the distance, that's exactly what he's taught Bruce Eugene to do with this Grambling State offense, is get rid of the football quick to those underneath routes. And we talked about Tremone Douglas in the open, but there are a bevy of great wide receivers here playing for Grambling State.
Theron Anderson is the man who caught that football. First down play right there, as they now have the football out at the 31-yard line. 2 quick passes and already gained 20-plus yards. And this one also intended for Anderson, overthrown. So now they'll have their second down of this drive.
Yeah, and Alabama A&M is going to come after Bruce Eugene in so many different ways and force him out of his rhythm. He throws the ball very well off of his back foot, but they are going to force him into those very low percentage passes on side adjustments to blitzes, and also like there, where they overloaded one side with the rush coming from one side, forcing him into a scramble situation.
Eugene has the ability to scramble, make no mistake about it. Last week he ran 18 times.
Yeah, don't let that size fool you. He can move it.
He rushed for over 440 yards. They got this one off just in time as he throws one of those sky balls and out of bounds, intended again for Anderson. As for some reason, they must not respect the defensive efforts of Henry Freeman over there.
Well, I'll tell you, this is what I was talking about, putting pressure on him and getting him to throw the football. Actually, that time he had a chance to step up into the throw, but throws the ball off his back foot very often, and that time that ball just sailed on him and right out of bounds.
Clyde Hampton was the man putting on the pressure, as now Grambling State faced with a third down situation where they've completed 44% of their third down opportunities coming in. That's the best mark in the SWAC. And obviously Bruce Eugene not happy with what he saw, almost to the point where it made him delay in terms of centering the ball, and they almost were caught with a penalty with too much time.
Yeah, and that's got to be a credit to Alabama A&M, giving them things that he's not prepared for the adjustments.
Again, got to be very wary of the #1 defense in the SWAC and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. They'll talk about it, and we'll be back.
Majority Leader Trent Lott says the country would have been better off had his colleague been president. Black America is in an uproar. Trent Lott explains. One-on-one with Ed Gordon, Monday.
Catch the magic this holiday season at South Park Mall. Santa is at his breathtaking castle daily for visits and photos. Let Chuckles and the Not-So-Barely Singers delight you with songs and stories. Back by popular demand is the Leonard Bernstein Symphony Orchestra. You won't believe your eyes or ears. And ride the South Park Express through an enchanted elf toyland. Have a ball shopping South Park Mall with Dillard's, Hecht's, JCPenney, Sears, and over 100 other great shops. We're located off I-95 on Temple Avenue in Colonial Heights. Happy holidays from your friends at South Park Mall.
But how do we make a commercial that's not your typical lawyer ad?
Well, we need to tell people that whether they've been involved in an accident, charged with a crime, in the middle of a domestic issue, or just need a will.
It will be there for them.
But how do we sum all that up?
I guess we tell them that we really will be the lawyers for life, that we have 2 offices in the Metro Richmond area, that we offer free initial consultations, and if they've been injured, we'll come to them.
Welcome back, Alabama A&M and Robert Mathis. And this is a man who led the SWAC in sacks with 20 and tackles for loss and forced fumbles. And this is what his head coach thinks about his play this season.
He's a quiet leader. He's not a rah-rah, jump-in-your-face kind of leader. He's a, if you want to do it right, follow me kind of a leader. He works hard. You don't have to worry about, you know, I have a bad list of whether it's study hall, whether it's going to class, whether it's being on time. Some guys seem to make all of those lists. Robert's never on any of them. So his leadership off the field is exceptional.
Robert Mathis, who a lot of folks are going to say a little undersized to move to the next level at 6 foot, 227 pounds, but well, you can't take away from what he does heart-wise and performance-wise. He gets it done. What are your thoughts?
Well, when you listen to his coach talk about what he does off of the field and his preparation and the fact that he's disciplined and the fact that he's smart and he's a leader, size does not matter when you take all those things into consideration in the NFL. He's the type of guy you find a position for him on your roster because he makes your team better. This
man knows about what it's like to play in the NFL. Anthony Jones spent time 5 years with the Washington Redskins as a tight end. There's Bruce on 3rd down, trying to get to the outside. Again, great pressure. And that's Robert Mathis, number 55, dragging him down right on cue.
Guess who? You talked about his motor and how fast he is off the corner. You can't run away from him because he will track you down. You see how quick he is in his first step, getting around the tackle. Once he gets that first step around the tackle, there's nobody that's going to outrun him. Not even Bruce Eugene, who's pretty quick for a quarterback.
Marcus Yanez now going to come out, linebacker slash punter.
Biggest punter in college football right there.
Averaging 34 yards per punt. Back deep to receive the punt, number 8, Nicholas Wells, the wide receiver. Averaging 14 yards per return off the punts. And wow, there goes Grambling State trying to fake. Close to the first down, but they don't get it. They're going to be 2 yards shy. Alabama A&M saying no, 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 as they tried the fake with Michael O'Ree, the running back, the freshman from Bogalusa, Louisiana.
I'll tell you, it's a long way to go for him. He had a long way to go to get this first down, and this is the type of break that Alabama A&M needs and the type of game they want to play. Punt the ball, pin him back, give him a little bit, but don't give him a lot, and then get a big turnover or get a big break on special teams. And right now, Alabama A&M has to feel good about the way they're starting this game off.
How confident was Doug, though, in his defense in stopping an offense that has struggled all year long?
Well, I think, you know, you've heard a lot about the arrogance of Grambling State right now, and they have to watch out because Alabama A&M is a little better team than we might think.
Oh, Keith is going to play action, throw downfield, and was looking for Neil Lindsay. He was covered by one of the better cover men in all the SWAC and Chris Brown.
Well, Johnny Keith is going to hear about that play later on in the game and when he gets to the sideline from his coach up in the booth because he had Lindsay down the field and he's going to tell him next time just keep your poise a little bit more because you had a man deep and you had him open.
Again, Keith coming in, just completing 34% of his passes as you also get a look at number 7, Timothy Robinson. We will see Tim before this game is all said and done. Robinson comes in and kind of changes the pace as he tries to beat you with his legs more than his arm. But he has done a good job completing passes for big plays for this team, Timothy Robinson. But for now, it's Johnny Keith, the true freshman. Delayed handoff, Gideon picking up positive yards, close to 5 on the carry. Make it 3rd down.
Again, that difficult situation for A&M, 2nd and long. They really don't have a lot. You see the more of the draws and the screens, and as we saw in the first possession, the quarterback draw, they have to stay out of those situations. And throwing the ball on 1st down puts them in a difficult spot.
Jeremiah Bonds was actually the man that carries. It's so hard to keep track because 35 is Melvin Gideon, 36 is Jeremiah Bonds, and they're both the same size at about 5'7", 5'8". They look alike on the field and almost run identical as well. On 3rd down, the pass is dropped by the intended receiver, Neil Lindsay. And that'll set up a 4th down, and Rashad Kyler is now in the punt. You don't expect that from a senior like Lindsey, who, by the way, is at home here in Birmingham. Kyler punting the football. Last time he punted the football was good for 48 yards, and it pinned Grambling State inside the 15-yard line down at the 10.
And again, Kyler is a guy who's so important today because when this field position game becomes a battle, and that's the kind of game A&M wants to play.
At the 1-yard line, and wow, they're looking for a safety.
Oh, they dodged the bullet right there.
Oh, that ball is going to be inside the 1-yard line. Pickett took a big chance on that 38-yard punt as he fielded it about the 3 and then actually went into the end zone with his momentum and tried to get back out.
Yeah, if Pickett's smart, he'll take the slow walk back to the bench because that was not a good decision.
This is unbelievable, inconceivable. I made some monumental deals, but nothing like this. A delectable, big and tasty for only $1? How? I've dealt with some shrewd dignitaries, but you, Mr. Mayor, you are a leader to be reckoned with.
Turn your dollar into something tasty like McDonald's Juicy Big and Tasty Sandwich with crisp lettuce and fresh tomato. Or the Tender McChicken Sandwich and more favorites for just $1 each every day on McDonald's Dollar Menu.
You're good, but don't get a big head.
It's showtime!
Get out of your seat.
Damn!
And make some noise.
That's what I'm talking about!
Drumline, rated PG-13. Now play.
Early Sunday morning, a winter day. It's breakfast time. They're on their way. They can smell the cinnamon.
Nothing brings my family to the table like these grand cinnamon rolls from Pillsbury. They're not just ordinary cinnamon rolls, they're grands.
Yeah, who can resist that cinnamon kiss from
Pillsbury? And try new Grand's orange sweet rolls with creamy orange icing.
They're grands!
Empty. Maybe some other soda, but this here is new Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. It's like oxygen on Mars. You don't waste this stuff. You think I'm playing? Try it. We'll see who's playing. Red Fusion. Fusion soda.
Hey, it's multicultural.
Okie dokie.
It's informative.
Shaquille O'Neal, mini-me.
And laugh out loud and fall down funny.
Shoot. Too late.
Comic View, weeknights at 10.
On the next testimony,
everybody's targeted me.
Ja gets gangsta.
Can't none of them touch me.
On the haters and perpetrators.
The kid 50 really wants to beat me.
All new testimony.
This is my testimony.
Wednesday at 9.
Welcome back. We are still scoreless here at the SWAC Championship in Birmingham, where Grambling State has the football. And you can see, if you can be backed up any further in your own territory, please let me know.
And Lance Wright has to be careful as the center. He doesn't pull it back into the end zone.
And on first down, that one was almost picked off. You can't let the football get away from you like that. Levenante Turner with an opportunity for his 5th pick of the season.
And this is exactly what A&M wanted to do coming into this ball game, and that's put pressure. That's none right there, the inside linebacker, putting pressure on Bruce Eugene and forcing him into those low percentage passes. That time got a tip on it and almost forced into this interception.
Well, I talked about the fact that this offensive line really has been solid, especially that left side with Riley and James, both seniors, but they've got a couple of sophomores on there too. Lance Wright, a sophomore, and Darryl Rogers, also a sophomore. They're going to be tested here deep in their own territory. 2nd and 10. Again, this pass through the arms of his intended receiver, Theron Anderson. Surprised I haven't seen him go to Douglas yet, who was the leading receiver in the SWAC.
Yeah, and that could be because of what A&M is doing with their defense and forcing Bruce Eugene to go away from the places where he feels comfortable. That time, the first down, they came in with a lot of pressure. That time they backed off and went in and out coverage on Theron Anderson, so there really was no place for Bruce Eugene to throw the football.
He completed his first 2 passes of this ball game and now has missed on his last 5. 3rd down and 10. They had an opportunity on 3rd down earlier in the ball game and missed on that one. Eugene again in his own end zone. This time the pass is caught And it's going to be close to another first down for Grambling State. Anderson makes the catch.
Get them the first down. When you look at Bruce Eugene's numbers, they are phenomenal. But you look at his percentages, they're not that great. He's just under 50%. And the reason being, 3 attempts to get a first down, nothing doing. They get it finally on third down with a nice 11-yard route by Theron Anderson. Gets him the first down, gets him out of trouble.
He had a lot of room as Reggie Johnson played off of him about 10 yards and allowed him to make that move outside for the first down yardage. Eugene now completing the pass, and we'll talk about his numbers in a second, especially last week against Southern, a couple weeks ago against Southern, as here he is on first down, throwing off his back foot incomplete. Now against Southern, Bruce Eugene completed 25 passes, but he threw 55 of them. And he had 3 touchdown passes, but he also had 3 interceptions.
Right. And those 3 interceptions were all key. There were times when it took momentum away from Grambling. There were times when one led to directly was a touchdown for Southern. And so he made some mistakes at the wrong time. But the one thing that Southern did was they mixed things up on him, and they gave him a lot of pressure. He attempted more than 50 passes in that game.
Right.
So he still, again, he was under 50%, put up great numbers, but it wasn't enough to get the job done.
And he tried to throw more than that because he ran the football 18
That's
times.
right.
So he could have had 60, 65 attempts. Here he is again throwing the football. High ball. Pass is complete. As Anderson gets behind the defensive back, Henry Freeman, in a big-time reception all the way in Bulldog territory down to the 36-yard line.
Well, if Bruce Eugene survives this game, he will be the warrior and the victorious warrior. Right now, he just takes a ton of hits from Ware and from Brian Evans, the defensive tackle ball. Look what he does with the football, 30, 40 yards down the field, puts it right between the 8 and the 1. That's an outstanding throw. We talked about his ability to throw the deep ball off the back foot. He's going to have to do it from his back this afternoon because A&M's going to put a lot of pressure on him.
How about Anderson? You talked about him. He reminds you of a guy you played with back in the day.
He's a Webster Slaughter kind of guy. Wears the high socks, the little towel coming off, real high knee action.
49-yard gain on that play. 1st and 10 now for the Tigers. Boy, they're going to try the inside. That's not going to be easy. Correll Charles with the carry. Charles, you know, you're going to have to pardon him if he's just a tad tired. He had to graduate earlier today.
And congratulations to Charles because he graduated yesterday. He's here today getting the start. He's going to need a little bit more help on the inside to run that football successfully. That time, A&M had 9 guys on the line of scrimmage right on the ball. They're going to force Grambling to do what Grambling does well, and that's throw the football.
Charles picked up his BA in criminal justice. And he'll be back looking for his master's next year as he completes his final season at Grambling State as a running back on the Tiger football team. Again, a timeout on the field. Looks like it's an official's timeout. As you get a good look at Doug Williams, head coach of the Tigers, former NFL great quarterback. And you talk about the success of this offense and of Bruce Eugene, and I asked you yesterday, ask you again. I mean, how much does that have to do with the coaching and with Doug Williams and the knowledge that he brings to this football team, being a great quarterback himself? What does it have to do with that?
In week 2, Bruce Eugene was benched. And it woke him up, and made him realize that he better start listening to this old veteran quarterback, even though he is his coach. He better start listening to the little things that he's teaching him, what it means to be a quarterback.
After the penalty, 2nd down 10, setting up the screen in the middle. Pass is caught by the big boy. Still running on his feet. Takes it inside the 20 as the pass goes to the tight end, Deshaun Jesse. Jesse with big-time play right there. Takes it down to the 19-yard line. A pickup of 24 yards.
And there's Jesse, just comes in from the right side of your screen, catches that little screen underneath the defense. That's the kind of play that Grambling State's going to make their money on. Those big deep balls look good on TV for highlights, but that's in lieu of a running game for Grambling State right there.
John Garrett is the man who made the tackle, but it was unbelievable to see Jamal Ware miss a tackle on that play as yet another pass is caught by the Tigers. This time it's Calvin Colquitt, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia.
We haven't really talked about the arm strength of Bruce Eugene, but he can put the ball on a line. And that time, he put the ball on the line for Colquitt, and Johnson was trying to make a play on the corner, had good position, but the ball was right there on time.
Look at those red zone numbers. 35 possessions inside the 20, 19 touchdowns, just 3 field goals. I know Brian Morgan, the field goal kicker, doesn't like that too much. He says, man, I'd like to give you a couple more points, but when you got a man like Bruce Eugene gunning the football like that, well, it's easy to get points, and this time he completes it to DJ Clay, the senior from Mansfield, Louisiana.
And one thing they do, and guys like Clay come in the ball game and put some numbers up because they have the ability with so many talented receivers to spread the field laterally so that those inside seams become more accessible to the quarterback. 9th
play of this drive. Keep in mind, they started this drive inside their own 1. They've gone 96 yards. It's 1st and goal. Football's on the 3. Again, getting a good look at just how potent this offense is. We talked about it at the top. Unbelievable what they get done. They had a 3rd down and 10 inside their 1, completely out pattern, and from then on, it's been all Tigers.
And we talked about the arrogance of Grambling State sometimes, and that may be, to their disadvantage at times because it fires up the other team. This is a case where the arrogance pays off because at 3rd and 10 from your own 1-inch line, you say, we can get it done, and they go right ahead and drive the length of the field.
See, I know what it's like to get fired up. See, when I found out that my man Joe Claire was going to be in the house, I got fired up too. He's standing by on the sideline. What do you got for us, Joe?
Well, here's what I have for you, George. Get the cameras. If we get the camera, we had to run from the other end of the field to get over. Tremont Douglas is going to be all right. They took the tape off, but he's going to put it back on, and he's going back in the game. He's got a mild sprain on the outside, but he's going to be fine. He needs a pedicure. But other than that, the brother's going to be fine. The game's going to be crunk. Y'all keep checking with me because I got to tell you about what's going on between these two bands. We'll talk about that later. Back up to y'all, man.
All right, we're coming back to you. So they all crusty, huh?
They're crusty.
Maybe that's a big reason why he hasn't gone to Douglas.
Corns are hurting them.
Making it more important for Theron Anderson and Colquitt and guys like that to come up large. DJ Clay making receptions here on this drive. 1st and goal. Oh, they're all bunched up. That's the way the Bulldogs like it, though. Smash mouth football. Fumble inside, and the Bulldogs get it back. That's the way Alabama A&M plays football. Very opportunistic. And Jermaine Mobley, the linebacker, a senior from Birmingham, playing in front of the hometown folks, comes up with the fumble, and Alabama A&M dodges a bullet with 6:16 left here in the 1st quarter.
That's nice. Girl, that's very nice. Yeah. So fine. Me? I don't say anything. Why don't you say something? Ask him. Ask him. Fine.
What are you doing?
My friends wanted me to ask, could you move? You're like in our way.
After the Chevy Trailblazer, everything else just seems kind of weak. Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
When he first walked in the room, people were skeptical. They didn't know what to expect. Just like Malibu goes to Harlem.
He's trying to do something new.
Hip-hop, rock, pop, soul. Imagine if you combine all of those into one thing.
This is happening right now.
I'm just doing my thing. What's my thirst? Music. What's yours? That's hot.
We'll see you in the morning, sweetie.
You in the mood?
Always. Introducing Pillsbury's biggest cookie ever. New Big Deluxe Classics. 2 kinds of chocolate, 1 big cookie. With luscious, semi-sweet morsels and gooey milk chocolate chips. You just have to give in.
Hey, what are you doing?
New Big Deluxe Classics from Pillsbury. Go on, give in.
You've heard it before. Don't quit your day job. At DeVry University, we couldn't agree more. We're open days, nights, and weekends. On campus or online, which means you can keep working while you finish your bachelor's or earn your master's degree in business or technology, so you can compete in today's technology-driven job market, tomorrow's too. Call DeVry University today and don't quit your day job. Make it better. DeVry University. Think ahead.
Make me like Mike.
Like Mike is a slam dunk on DVD. Now, make your move and own Like Mike. Lil Bow Wow.
I got dogs bigger than him, man.
Like Mike. Own it on DVD and video today.
This Christmas, feel the joy. Spread the love.
The brightest stars will shine tonight. BET's Christmas Remembrances. Christmas Day at 9 p.m.
Majority Leader Trent Lott says the country would have been better off had his colleague been president. Black America is in an uproar. Trent Lott explains. One-on-one with Ed Gordon, Monday.
AT&T Broadband brings you the best television has to offer every month.
You're a really special woman. You need to believe me when I tell you that.
Oh, I don't know what's happening here.
This could be the greatest threat the world has ever known.
What did that kid do to us?
Steven Spielberg presents an epic miniseries event about the secrets we keep and the secrets kept from us. Steven Spielberg presents Taken.
Every month, look for the best television has to offer on AT&T Broadband.
Experience the internet without the worldwide wait with high-speed internet. Download faster than dial-up or DSL free for your first month. Enjoy an always-on connection. No dial-ups or busy signals. And there's no need for a second phone line or another internet provider. Call today and get your first month free and free professional installation. That's right, first month free and free professional installation. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Call now.
Well, Grambling State was knocking on the door and found the Bulldogs very stiff-wise as they go to a defensive lineman with a handoff.
Yeah, that handoff hit him right up above his numbers, even almost in the middle of his chest. That's Leonard Patton, their answer to the fridge, I guess, in the backfield.
A sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But after the turnover, and Alabama A&M comes out with a brand new quarterback as Tim Robinson now. And he hands it off to his fullback, looks like. Was rolling as you get a good look there at Robinson, a redshirt freshman. They're set at quarterback for a couple of years now when you take into consideration that Johnny Keith is a true freshman. This kid is a redshirt freshman. They'll both be around for a while, but you wonder just how long they're going to be, willing to share this spot as they start to mature and develop. Second down and 1 as they go inside again, challenging the teeth of this Grambling State Tiger defense. Again, they go to the fullback, Jonathan Rowland, the redshirt sophomore.
And you talk about these two quarterbacks, and what's different about them is that Robinson's more of a running quarterback. You see them already going with the option play. 2 plays in a row, 2 options. It's also gotten them out of the hole, so you think that they might go with this kid a little bit longer in this ball game to keep that Grambling offense. How you see how potent it is off of the field.
Well, obviously, I mean, he's gotten them their first down of the football game. That's very important. That'll keep that young man, Johnny Keith, on the sideline, unfortunately. So here's Robinson now on first down. Hands it off to the deep back. We hope we got it right. Number 35, Melvin Gideon with the carry.
Ron Johnson with a nice stop there for Grambling, linebacker in the middle. But you talk about the difference between these two quarterbacks and A&M. They have to find, with both of these guys being so young, a way to get both of them in the ball game and bring all the qualities and all the skills that they provide to the offense and be consistent, because Johnny Keith is definitely more of a passer, more of a guy that's going to sit in the pocket, and a guy that Coach Jones wants to sit in the pocket. So but you have to find out. Yeah, they have to find out what they want these guys to do.
0 for 3 for Keith, so now here comes Robinson. Looked like he was going to attempt his first pass, but then forced to the outside defensively as Octavius Bond is the man who came up and made the play, the junior from Chicago, number 8.
And you saw how quickly Robinson pulled that ball down and made the decision he's going to take off and run, where Johnny Keith may have regathered, taken a step back and tried to find another receiver.
Third down opportunity for Alabama A&M is Keith signaling in the plays, and I guess that's the way to keep a young man involved in a football game. Have him do the signals.
Exactly. Robinson was doing it for Keith a moment ago, and that's definitely a way to keep him sharp, keep him tuned to what's going on the field.
Third down now and 11. Keith going to hold on to it, but he's not going to get away from Willie Gray, a first-team all-SWAC selection, number 74, the senior from New Orleans.
And we talked about how predictable that quarterback draw becomes, and Willie Gray is just a real bright, smart guy there in the middle, expecting that quarterback draw, and just followed and pursued that play down the line.
In front formation, Alabama A&M, number 27,
So Kyler now will punt the football on 4th down. Piggott, one of the men back deep, although this will be Clay who will field the punt. Still in Tiger territory, 42-yard punt, 2-yard return. If you're just joining us, here are a couple of highlights already from this football game. Grambling State on a 4th down. State tried the fake punt with one of their backup running backs, Michael O'Ree. He came up short, but Alabama A&M forced the punt. They pinned Grambling State deep in their territory as George Pickett tried to return it. It was stopped inside his 1, but Grambling State drove all the way downfield and on 1st and goal handed it off to Leonard Patton. And Leonard Patton, a defensive lineman by trade. Little miscommunication, bad handoff by the quarterback. They probably don't work on that one too much with those two. And they fumbled the football and A&M got it back. But now here's Grambling State with possession. And their first possession after that fumble as they try to pass inside to Anderson and nothing doing.
Eugene held on to that football way too long, and Deron Anderson got all the way into the interior where all those big uglies were. That's not where you want that play to go.
And a face mask against Alabama A&M. That last drive, 10 plays, 96 yards. So Grambling State, offensively, again, you talked about it. They get big numbers, but it's about trying to capitalize it and making those numbers work for them.
And that's what happened to them as we get the call. That's what happened to Grambling against Southern. They moved the ball well at times, but they turned the ball over inside the red zone a couple of times, and they take the bread out of the basket. They take the money out of the bank. When they do that, they do a great job of putting up the numbers, but they're not getting the payoff.
And for A&M, that's their 2nd penalty of the football game. 20 yards they've been penalized so far. Once again, this is Black College Football on BET, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Grambling State, Alabama A&M in this SWAC Championship game. Under 2:20 left here in our first quarter. Here's Eugene on 1st down. Throws the out pattern. Pass is complete. Like Moses Harris was the receiver there, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas. His 19th reception of the season.
When Grambling gets pressure, what they have a tendency to do is throw the deep ball. And that time, Bruce Eugene was kind of expecting to throw the deep ball. But what Alabama A&M is doing is they're showing him blitz, they're showing him pressure, and then they're backing out and not allowing those receivers to use the deep ball as a side adjustment. That's why that throw was underneath and relatively uncontested underneath.
Bruce Eugene now has completed 9 passes, 9 of 15 for 140 yards. He's going to attempt yet another pass, and it was caught. Wow. And they're going to say he caught it inbounds. Moses Harris with the good hands. And boy, that's going to be awful close as he catches it inside the 6-yard line.
I don't know if he caught this ball in bounds, and if there's that rule that he would have come down in bounds anyway. But he seemed to me like he was, got that 1 foot in.
Yes, he did. Good call by the
Just check out that left foot. I don't know. I don't know. He did not.
But again,
that's why we have 2 cameras.
If there is a situation where it looked like he would have come down without being forced out, they're going to give him the completion, right?
They would do that, yes.
Look at those numbers right there.
If he gets pushed out.
Offensively, Alabama A&M has yet to get a yard passing the football. Already 154 for the Tigers of Grambling State, looking for more over the middle. Boy, and I'll tell you what, that was a dangerous pass right there. As the defensive back, Martell Holt, looked like he had an opportunity to make an interception. Yeah. He had kept his head up.
I think if Martell Holt went for the ball, he would have had an interception and was very close to being pass interference because he got there very early.
So again, the Tigers in the red zone at the 6-yard line. The last time they were deep in Bulldog territory, they fumbled the football. 2nd down and goal at the 6. Eugene loves to roll, loves to throw off that back foot. Good defense there as the pass was intended for Moses Harris.
And you see who put the pressure on Bruce Eugene was Martell Holt. And what that tells you is that A&M is really mixing up the defense. 1 minute he's in the deep middle breaking up a pass. Next minute he's putting pressure on the quarterback. A&M is doing a nice job of mixing up the defense and not allowing Bruce Eugene to get into any kind of rhythm. He's been throwing the ball off his back foot. He's been forced out of the pocket a number of times already.
But you say that this kid can throw off his back foot as well as anybody you've ever seen throw the football.
No question about it. He can throw off his back foot very well, but most teams don't game plan for that. And what A&M is doing is they're putting pressure on him, forcing him into that situation, but they're then laying back on those routes, those deep routes, forcing him to throw the ball, a different type of ball that he wants to throw.
Well, again, this is the culmination of a great season of SWAC football, and we've had plenty of it here on BET, featuring big-time plays and very hard hits.
Right to the helmet.
I told you we had some hard hits, didn't I?
That man right there was in a whole bunch of those hits, forcing fumbles and setting people up for the big one.
That again is Robert Mathis, the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, who, by the way, in the first meeting between these two teams earlier this year, the game won by Grambling State, this guy had no sacks. It was the only game all year in which he was held sackless.
And you have to think that that's a little bit of an inspiration for him coming in today.
I wonder if that big G has anything to do. What's that big G for is what I want to know. On that helmet. Got a big old G on there. 3rd and goal as they tried to go over the middle. Good defense pass was intended for Tremone Douglas. As Levenante Turner was the defensive guy there, and a flag has been thrown.
Yeah, and that's what Doug Williams is upset about. Is that
who made the play?
Get a chance to listen to what Doug's talking about. And Turner got there just a little bit too fast on the play.
But they're going to kick a field goal now. It's a 4th down situation. Looks like it's going to be a 23-yard attempt for Morgan. Brian, the sophomore from Groves, Texas. And he came in converting just 6 of 20 field goals. But this one is good. And the Tigers take the early lead here in the SWAC Championship with 49 seconds left in the first quarter, thanks to a 23-yard field goal by Brian Morgan.
Well, Anthony Jones can feel happy about what his team has done so far in this ball game. With 49 seconds left, they're down only 3. And if you probably look at the numbers and you see how much offense Grambling State has put up, which they do all year long, they've still only managed 3 points. So credit A&M's defense for doing a lot of bending, but not a lot of breaking.
And I would assume that a lot of that defense is coming from their ability to pressure the quarterback, Bruce Eugene.
No question about it. It's not allowing him, once again, that rhythm. And he's managed to complete a few passes, but he's been forced out of the pocket a number of times. He's been hit a number of times. He's even gotten up slow a couple of times. For example, this play right here, he didn't want to get up on that play. If he wins his ball game, he will be the warrior with a lot of bruises when he goes home this afternoon.
They say Ken Barbe is his backup, although he's completed actually just thrown 2 passes this season. So I would assume they can ill afford to lose Bruce Eugene in this championship game.
There haven't been many opportunities for Barbe, let's say, during the year.
As you get a good look at Nicholas Wells. Sorry about that, Don. Morgan's kick will take a couple of bounces and be fielded by Wells. Getting a couple of blocks, cutting back inside, and taking it out to the 41-yard line. Nice return for Alabama A&M. They've got good field position. A 25-yard return by Wells.
And A&M so far has the advantage in the special teams, field position-wise, although, again, Grambling State can neutralize that with their potent offense. But field position-wise, they stop the fake punt. They were able to pin them back with the punt game, and right now, again, a nice return puts them in good position at the 41.
Just looking at the cheerleaders. Did you see Drumline live? You didn't go out and see Drumline. I didn't go out. You didn't go out and see it?
I was studying last night.
Okay. So was I.
Did you see Drumline last night?
I thought I'd catch you. 1st and 10. Shotgun formation for Robinson, and he better jump on that football. He does. He's back on his 29-yard line. Looks like that'll be a loss of 12 yards, making it 2nd down and 22.
And Robinson will learn quickly when that ball's on the ground like that. You don't waste a lot of time trying to pick it up. You fall on that ball real quick, and here's just a terrible situation for A&M right now with Robinson, who's their running quarterback, their option quarterback in the ball game. The 2nd 25 situation.
Again, known more for running the football, A&M, but we come to the end of the 1st quarter. And Grambling State, all kinds of offensive total yards, and yet just 3 points to speak for it. A&M trying to counter.
This is my mom. Another perfect holiday. I was 7 and Mom was amazing. She always knew to make Chex Party Mix. The good stuff. All seasoned and toasted fresh from the oven. You know what's great about the holidays now? It's my turn to be Mom.
Stan is getting ready for the holidays. He uses his Discover card because it pays him for the things he buys. So far, he's earned a cashback bonus award of $160. It's money he used to add a few last-minute touches. Discover card. Why not get paid for the things you buy anyway?
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Pizza Hut, home of the Big New Yorker. Thin and crispy, pan, stuffed crust pizza, and more.
And Miss Grambling's in the house, isn't she? Of course, rooting for her Tigers.
That queen wave.
The hand just turns left, right, left, right. The Tigers looking for their 3rd straight. And this pass is intercepted by Octavius Bond. Bond has been active so far in this football game. He's still on his feet inside the 30-yard line down to about the 25. Grambling State, known for their offensive capabilities, coming up with a big defensive play right there by Octavius Bond.
And that was obviously not a smart throw by Robinson. Lots of coverage down the field. Again, a guy who's not used to throwing the football, not used to seeing the coverage, seeing defenses, and it's hard to figure out where he was throwing that football. But this is the type of break that ignites a team, and this could be the thing that puts Grambling into the end zone and gets this offensive machine on a roll.
And for Bond, that's his 5th interception of the season. He had an opportunity at another one earlier in the ball game, makes good on this one, and then comes back with it. 31 yards and setting his club up. Good field position. The Tigers, just 3 points, but they're knocking on the door inside the 25-yard line. Mathis putting pressure. Eugene's pass is intercepted by Henry Freeman. And Freeman, and again, a dangerous pass when you're going off the back foot right there as he lofted it in the middle of the field and had to pay the price.
I told you that A&M has been playing back, and we talked about the first time these two teams met. A&M was a little different defense, and Freeman was one of those guys, as you mentioned, George, didn't play in that first game. But that time, he threw the ball, again, with the pressure in his face. He's not stepping into the throws. He's having to make plays. Nothing on that football when you're stepping back. He could have planted a foot and put something on that ball. And now you see how Freeman's going to undercut that pass coming underneath. They're laying back on the deep ball. They're not allowing him to get that comfortable deep ball, that easy deep ball he's used to throwing.
Henry Freeman, who has battled injuries throughout the beginning of this season, had 2 interceptions on BET against Alabama State in the Classic a couple of weeks ago. Comes up with a big one right here as they try inside with Gideon on 1st down. So take a look at our 1st quarter stats brought to you by Pizza Hut. home of the big New York thin and crispy pan, stuffed crust pizza, and more. BC, Don.
Well, you're making me hungry talking about all that pizza, but the passing yards obviously is the big key right there for A&M. 0 passing yards. They're going to have to do something to mix up the offensive attack and put the Grambling State defense in a different kind of mindset. Right now, they're pinning their ears back.
Second down, passed off to the outside.
And this is going to be PI against Chris Brown.
Walter Shields was the intended receiver, number 81. And there's a penalty as Robinson is now 0 for 2 throwing the football. Also has an INT.
And what Doug Williams is arguing about is that ball was not catchable. It was well over the head of the wide receiver.
And out of bounds.
And out of bounds.
On the defense, it'll be 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Back to that new, that Pizza Hut thing. I mean, which one do you, I'm not even thinking football now. You got me.
You got me all glazed over. I heard thin crust pan.
Which one?
Deep dish. You just got me on a whole bunch of them.
Which one you want to get? I think we can make an order from here, can't we?
I think we should get all of them. Joe Clare come up and help us out.
Yes, he would. No, Joe's been working. Joe looking good, huh?
I know.
That West Coast living Joe got going on now, right? First and 10 at the 24. Little option play. Pitch goes to Gideon. Gideon is brought down close to the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 6.
Well, Anthony Jones made that quick decision to go to Robinson at quarterback, and now he's going to more of an option attack, trying to maintain some time of possession, some field position, time of possession with his ground game. And the option's going to be key, because if they can't throw the ball to mix things up, they're going to have to run that option.
Good. Again, there's Tim Robinson. Coming off a big passing day against Pine Bluff in the season finale. This time it's Gideon can't get outside as Leonard Patton with the shoestring tackle.
And that's what Patton does best, shoestring tackles and not carrying the football into the end zone.
But Robinson, he completed just 4 passes in that season finale, but 1 went for 32 yards, 1 went for 36. As he had 106 of the 179 passing yards. But again, he is known as running the football, the quarterback for Alabama A&M. He's the 3rd leading rusher on the team. 3rd down now, and Alabama A&M 0 for 3 in this situation. Robinson takes a deep drop. Now he's looking for some room, decides to throw the football, and overthrows his intended receiver, Neil Lindsay.
Robinson got himself in trouble that time by taking such a deep drop that when he decided to run, he realized he had so far to go just to get back to the line of scrimmage. He figured, let me take another step back and try throwing this thing again.
I thought that was just me, but that was a 14-step drop, right?
Once again, when you're not used to, as a quarterback, not used to taking those drops, sometimes you just get a little carried away. Great punt.
DJ Clay off the collar punt. And again, another super-duper punt. This one inside the 15, going to be downed at the 14-yard line. Rashad Kyler has pinned Grambling State in their territory deep before this one, a 59-yarder.
Just how deep is the new Chicago dish pizza from Pizza Hut? With a pizza this deep, what more could you ask for? How about a deep discount on a second pizza? Now you can get any other medium pizza for the unbelievable price of just $2.99 when you order the Chicago dish. That's just $2.99 for your old favorite when you buy your new favorite at Pizza Hut. Go deep.
Men in Black 2 on DVD and video. What do 4 worms, 2 men? You know what you're doing. Yep, 1 dog. All have in common what? They're on 2 discs packed with special features. Whoa, Men in Black 2. Buy it now on DVD and video.
What's it like being me? New Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. It's like being the guy on those cop shows everyone's after. Getting chased through backyards with no shirt on, except I ain't going out like that. Red Fusion, who's your soda?
We have got a tight football game here in Birmingham, Alabama, site of the SWAC Championship between Grambling State and Alabama A&M. 12 minutes left here in the first half, and It's the Tigers up 3-0. George Johnson along with McPherson and, of course, Joe Claire, who's standing by on the sideline. Joe.
Check this out. While y'all talking about what's going on in the field, there is a battle that takes place in the stands at Black College football between the two bands. As you can see, Alabama A&M's band behind, they are going crazy, but they're battling with Grambling's band. They don't care what goes on the field. The bands are battling each other, and that's the part you got. Halftime is going to be off the chain. Make sure you don't miss that. Plus, they got the dancing girls and everything. So, back up top to y'all.
Well, that's a much better reason for me not to miss the bands. They've got the dancing girls doing their thing. Bruce Eugene and Grambling State now 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line is Eugene 16-20 for 164 yards and an interception, although he is 0 for 4 the last 4 passes. 50% though so far, which is his season average. This time they'll try to go outside the clay and nothing doing defensively. Alabama A&M all over the place. Fernandez Shaw was there to make the play. Keep in mind we've got coming up on our Southwest Airlines at the half. We'll have our sweepstakes winner for the contest we had all year long. Both bands ready to go, and Don and I will look back on the first half with stats and highlights. That all coming up at half, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Clay tried to get to the outside.
Great play by Fernandez Shaw, stretching that play out and not allowing Clay the corner. But just a graze of a face mask gives Grambling State a 1st and 3.
5 penalties now for A&M. Actually, excuse me, check that that's 3 penalties. That one good for 5. It's 20. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think there was a whistle from the stands. They're trying to adjust the clock now, and that time Lance Wright, the center, just snapped the ball, and Bruce Eugene was looking at the official.
So they won't reset a huddle. Just put the football back down on the turf, and
Lance Wright said, next time somebody tell me y'all stop play.
Well, after penalty, isn't it supposed to be 1st and 5? It looks like it's 1st and...
It's 1st and 3.
And 3? Eugene, plenty of time, looking downfield. Pass was intended for Tremone Douglas, and overthrows him.
And Bruce Eugene does not look comfortable. He's not throwing. He took some shots early in the ball game, and yesterday when I talked to the A&M defensive coach, they said we're going to come after him, get in his face, and pound him a little bit. And when they do that, what happens is he's not sitting in his feet. He's not stepping into his throws. Even when there's no one in front of him, he still has a tendency to throw the ball off his back foot.
Misfired on his last 5. Now 2nd down on the 21. No one in the backfield. Shotgun formation again.
These guys in the middle of
This one is complete for his receiver, Tremone Douglas. Douglas, who was a first-team All-SWAC selection, had 87 catches coming into this one. That led the conference. He had 21 more receptions than the guy who was in 2nd.
And that's what they're trying to force him to do with all those guys in the middle of the formation. Force those short passes and get him to throw the ball early and throw the ball short to try to stuff the play.
1st and 10 to 25. Over the middle, pass was intended for DJ Clay. Incomplete, make it 2nd down and 10.
Clay's got to come up with that catch. It's a tough pass. Bruce Eugene threw the ball very hard, throws the ball very hard without stepping into it, those on the line, very short passes.
So when he steps into it, got a gun.
I'm telling you, when he steps into it, and Doug Williams said this, talked to him a while back, said when he steps into it, there's no one who throws the ball harder.
This pass is complete on the other side of the field. And that one goes to Theron Anderson, and Anderson close to another 1st down.
These are the types of plays that Bruce Eugene and the Grambling offense needs to run to get into a rhythm. The short passes by design, not by side adjustment on the blitz, but by design, allowing him to get into a rhythm. I think they have a tendency, it's feast or famine with this offense. They go for the deep ball, or they get a big play from a scramble or a design short pass play with blockers in front.
And Anderson having a pretty good day, 5 receptions for 87 yards. And again, they go to Anderson. Freeman defensively making the play. Anderson almost lost that football, but he picks up close to 8 yards, and that'll set up 2nd and short.
And this is a good matchup right here, Freeman against Anderson. Deron Anderson is not the #1 receiver, but you mentioned him earlier. He does have a lot of ability, a lot of speed out there on the outside.
Breakout year for this young man, who has 6 catches, came in with 43 in 9 touchdowns. 2nd down and short. This time Eugene's going to keep the football, try to get to the outside. Jamal Ware, the linebacker, gets to him first. Got a little help from Brian Evans, number 96, but it was Ware that made the initial contact.
Well, you saw Ware moving around in that defensive front. He was on the outside and he moved back to the inside, and that's when Bruce Eugene started to readjust the play because of where Ware was lining up. and Ware was just tracking him no matter where Bruce Eugene went after the snap of the football.
Usually lines up in the right places. He came in the 3rd leading tackler in the conference. On 3rd down and 2, pass is complete. This one goes to Douglas. Good enough for a 1st down. That one a 6-yard pickup.
You see Douglas waving that hand. That right hand, he hurt his thumb in warm-ups. You see him holding that right hand right now. He hurt his thumb in warm-ups, and they were a little concerned about him. And then you saw him getting his ankle wrapped up. And Joe Clare was telling us about the ankle. Told us in the pregame, Joe Clare told us about the thumb. And so right now, his #1 receiver, Tremone Douglas, is a little banged up in a couple different places.
But Eugene loves to throw to the young man. Has a lot of confidence in his ability to go get the football. Got a flag on the field. With just
on the offense.
We'll be right back. Take a quick timeout.
The word is out. Swiss Beats is making headlines with bigger business.
Every week, to give you what you need. Swiss Beats.
Swiss Beats, bigger business, featuring P. Diddy, Snoop Dogg, Ron Isley, Jadakiss, Baby, TQ, and Cassidy. And Good Times, featuring Styles. Plus tracks from LL Cool J, Lil Kim, Fat Joe, Nas, and more. Swiss Beats presents Ghetto Stories, in stores now.
Now, Domino's is boldly taking chicken where no chicken has gone before and delivering it right to your door. Introducing Domino's Pizza Buffalo Chicken Kickers. Tender cuts of all-white chicken breast with a kick of buffalo flavor baked right in. 10 pieces for $5.99.
Don't eat with your oboes on the table.
Hit the door and get a kick out of dinner tonight. Get an order of Cinesticks free when you buy a large one-topping pizza for $9.99.
Looks like this intern's moving up.
Promotion?
Oh yeah, I'm on the fast track. Corner office, parking space. I totally deserve it.
How do you figure?
Well, look what I've learned. Dell helps people build their perfect PC. They make it easy to order, and they have award-winning 24/7 service and support. You'll probably be reporting to me. Check it out. This is to notify you that our latest promotional offer is free shipping when you buy a Dell PC.
That's great. A PC customized for you and free stuff.
So no parking spot.
This holiday, call or go online now and get a Dimension desktop for just $569. America's favorite PC includes everything you see here. Monitor, keyboard, mouse, and speakers. And right now, for a limited time, you'll get free shipping. Get great deals on notebooks, too. Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Oh, life on the fast track.
Get your perfect PC. For holiday shopping done smart, it's easy as Dell.
And we're back. This is Anthony Jones's Alabama A&M Bulldogs trailing this one 3-0 to Grambling State, who has the football. And after the penalty, a 5-yard penalty, it will be 1st and 15 for the Tigers. Bruce Eugene has thrown for big yardage so far in this ball game. It looks like a little miscommunication between he and his receiver, and another flag is thrown.
That call is going to go against Holt, the strong safety, who just did not allow Tremone Douglas to see Tremone Douglas saying it was a hold against those guys. Tremone Douglas was trying to do the old out and up, and Holt grabbed him. Martell Holt grabbed him, didn't allow him to turn the corner.
These two teams have a reputation for accumulating penalties.
Number 2 and 3 teams in the conference in penalties.
And yet here they are.
Holding on the defense, on the eligible receiver, be 10 yards, automatic first down.
And yet despite that, they're both in the championship game.
They're doing something right. They're not doing it right all the time, but they're doing something right.
There's Doug Williams, the 2-time SWAC Coach of the Year in his 5th season here at Grambling State, where he's 42-15. First and 10, ball marked at the 45-yard line as you look at the current drive. 9th play, Eugene trying to get to the outside. Nothing doing as that pocket closed in on him very quickly.
Brian Evans there on the bull rush, just coming up the field on Ogletree, the defensive tackle.
Evans now with 6 sacks on the season. Got a way to go to catch Robert Mathis in that department, but he has been solid. 2nd in that category this season for the Bulldogs. So now it's 2nd down. Make it 14 as the clock continues to roll. Inside 9 minutes here in the first half. Grambling State, who came in averaging 39 points a game with just 3 thus far. Lots of yards, not many points to speak for. But this time they've got a wide open receiver down the sideline. The pass was intended for Moses Harris, who had beaten his defender by about 3 or 4 steps, but it was just too far for him to get.
And you see the frustration of Bruce Eugene on that play. He knew he had his man, Moses Harris, that time. Just gets a nice outside release. Uncontested down the field, he just read it and went away from the safety. Turner had his man, didn't get the throw accurately enough, and I think he's getting a little bit frustrated because he's taking those hits. He gets the sack from Evans. He's taking those hits. He's starting not to settle into his game right now.
They're working on number 47, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
They are working on Henry Freeman. It doesn't matter who's there. They're working on him. 3rd down, and the Tigers are 2 for 4 thus far in this game. The outside was intended for Douglas, incomplete. That'll set up a 4th and 14, and it should bring Yanez on the field to punt for the Tigers.
And one of the reasons why they're working on Douglas is because what Grambling has a tendency to do is put 3 wide receivers to one side and single up one guy, and that one guy who's been singled up doesn't have help behind him. The corner doesn't have help behind him, and that corner has been Freeman.
Yanez might be his first punt. Remember, he had an opportunity in the first quarter, but they faked it on 4th down. Wells is standing back on his 15. Yanez again, averaging 34 yards per punt. Wells is going to take it at the 21. No room. So after the punt by Yanez, the Alabama A&M Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line, which is where we'll be when we get back.
Majority Leader Trent Lott says the country would have been better off had his colleague been president. Black America is in an uproar. Trent Lott explains. One-on-one with Ed Gordon, Monday.
Can anybody tell us why smoking isn't stupid?
So, this is it. December 15th, 2002. Armageddon. Finally. We've been hyping this for 2 millennia. The ring looks great. Crowd's hot, too. Care to make a friendly wager? You definitely do. Your boys against mine? Loser buys. Deal.
WWE Armageddon, December 15th. Brought to you on pay-per-view by AT&T Broadband.
Back here at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. SWAC Championship. Well, we showed you big hits. We have several types of hits. This is our Showtime hits from action earlier this week. That's just sort of to get you pumped up for the half. Our Southwest Airlines at the half. And we bring you both bands from both Alabama A&M and the Grambling State Marching Band. One of the most famous bands in all the world. As you take a look at the difference in numbers between both teams, it's been all Grambling State. As Alabama A&M finally gets some yards passing-wise. That's their first completion of the ball game. They had rushed for 24 yards, had no yards in the air till there. Neil Lindsay making the reception.
What a great play fake by Timothy Robinson. On the play action fake, sucked in the defense, allowed Lindsay to come inside and just leak out into the flat for the reception.
That one was good for 16 yards. Makes it 1st and 10 at the 37. Again, clock's still rolling, but Alabama A&M with an opportunity in this one if they can mount some sort of drive, at least to tie it, maybe even take the lead as they hand it off inside to Jeremiah Barnes, the junior from Huntsville.
You know, in normal situations, you would say that the pace of this game and the score being 3-0 right now with just under 7.5 minutes left plays to A&M's advantage. This is the type of game that they want to play. But Grambling State has had a tendency to fall behind in a number of ball games and really come on strong in others in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. So by no means can A&M think just because they're hanging on that this is a good game for them. They have to start scoring points.
2nd down after the 3-yard pickup. Throw a reverse. And looking to get away from the defense was Lindsay. Lindsay had a receiver downfield. Just couldn't complete it. Pass was intended for Anthony Strickland, senior tight end from St. Louis.
And just when I talked about them, they must score points. Anthony Jones comes up with the trick play, the fake option reverse pass, trying to make something happen. Because he really there's no explosive nature to this offense. It is a plodding down the field type of offense, especially with Robinson in there at quarterback. So he really has to be creative to make something big happen.
So now 3 Bulldog players have thrown a pass. 3rd down, they're 0 for 4 in that category. Robinson fakes, throws to his left, pass intercepted by Barnes. His second and a big-time block as he is still on his feet inside Bulldog territory down to the 43-yard line. Octavius Bond with his 2nd interception of the football game. And with 6.5 minutes left here in the first half, the Tigers have the ball and the lead.
out of your seat and make some noise.
That's what I'm talking about.
Drumline, rated PG-13. Now playing.
Do it, do it, do it now, neck. My neck, my back. The first single by Kaya. My neck, my back, my just like that. Kaya's debut album is called Thug Misses, including My Neck, My Back, the women's anthem of the year. Just like that. Get Kaya's new album now on Dirty Down, Artemis Records. Just like that.
That just clean feeling the dentist gives you? Now you can give it for the holidays. Introducing the newest Crest Spin Brush, Spin Brush Pro. It spins and goes up and down to make that dentist clean feeling the perfect gift. Crest Spin Brush Pro.
Well, Tim Robinson throws his second interception of the ball game, and Octavius Bond is the man who picked him off for a second time. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't the interception that was big here. It was the block. Listen.
Oh. And you see Kamaji's getting up, number 95. You know, we saw this in the NFL a couple weeks ago
with Warren Sapp.
But that was a clean hit right in the middle. Whenever there's an interception, you have to keep your head on a swivel, and that's a chance for defensive players to lay the boom on some people.
And they wait for those opportunities,
oh, yes,
don't
they do. Yes, they do.
Have you ever thrown a pick and then had someone hit you blind?
Oh, absolutely.
Look at that smile.
You know how I laugh, because sometimes as a quarterback, you throw a pick, you think, should I just take a knee?
Because you know they want to.
I'm not going to be a threat to anybody, I promise.
First and 10 after the interception. Ball at the 43. Eugene in the shotgun, good pressure, going to throw out the back of his foot again. Freeman defensively doing a good job against Colquitt.
And this is what I'm talking about, forcing him throwing that ball, that deep ball, low percentage deep ball, and then lay back on it. And this is a good play by Freeman. Watch Freeman turn his head. That's all he has to do. Now you can just run Colquitt right out of bounds. As long as he turns his head, he becomes a receiver. That's a great defensive play by Freeman.
And believe me, they're going to make sure that he makes some plays. Because, again, they have been throwing to his side all game long.
Look at him. Look, he's got the dirt on him. He's like, I'm ready. I got my pull my gloves up. He's ready. Bring it on.
You know, first it was Anderson, and Douglas has gotten him, and now they're throwing Colquitt at him. Second down and 10 for Eugene. Going to throw in the flat to DJ and Clay. Brought down after crossing the 40-yard line by the middle linebacker, Trevorius Nunn.
And once again, those are the plays that Grambling State has to focus on, because A&M is playing way back in the coverage and allowing the underneath passes. They need to throw the short pass. I said this in the open. Throw the short passes, get the ball in the hands of his receivers quickly so that they can make the plays after the catch.
Eugene now has completed 50% of his passes, 15 of 30 for 195 yards. On pace to throw for 400 yards again. Third down, they're 2 for 5 in this instant. Eugene showing his feet. Awful tough to get away from this defense, as Robert Mathis is the man who finally brought him down, but there were several guys there. Harold Penn, number 73, was in the vicinity, as was the middle linebacker, Nunn.
And Bruce Eugene, you know, we can talk about him and criticize him so much and the decisions that he makes, but when you throw for 4,000 yards and you're the SWAC player of the year, you're going to be criticized. And that time he has to realize where he is on the football field and make those decisions to run the ball a little bit more quickly and a little bit more smartly, because that time he really had a difficult time getting the first down. Now they're in a position, it's 4th and 3.
They converted on 7 of 10 opportunities 4th down this season. And again, Bruce Eugene will delay, going to move him back. And
step 4th down.
Now it's going to be a decision by Doug. Does he now change his mind, bring his punt team out? Looks like he's gonna.
Oh, he doesn't have a choice now. He had a chance at it. And again, those are the types of mistakes when you see that happen, not having the right play call, not being prepared for that 4th and 3 situation, makes you think that Grambling State's not in their game right now.
Looks like Reggie Johnson is the man who will be inside the 15-yard line for Alabama A&M. Yanez put 8 inside the 20. And when you put a new guy back there on punt return, sometimes things like that happen. As he bobbled the football, but it looks like he was able to jump back on top of it. And the Bulldogs maintain possession. Time for us to take a commercial break with 4:43 left here in the first half. Time for our trivia question as well, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Who are the only 2 SWAC players to finish in the top 5 in the Heisman voting? Got an idea?
I know.
You know who it is.
I do know who it is.
Sounds like a quarterback answer there. We'll have the answer when we get back.
In 1935, Foxwood Farm started with 1 horse and a truck. The horse was a thoroughbred. The truck, a Chevy Suburban. Today, they have a few more horses, but there's still only 1 truck. Chevy Suburban. With an available 8.1-liter Vortec engine, it's capable of towing up to 6 tons, making it the best Suburban yet. Chevy Suburban, like a rock.
I am Blue, a product of 2, son of Very, daughter of Cola, altogether different but not altogether the same. I am Blue, a fusion, no confusion. Berry is the star, Cola gets second billing. It's for anyone, but it's not for everyone. It's time for change. Tick tock, times have changed. Tick tock, drink to that. Yeah, drink to that.
Pepsi Blue, a fusion of berries with a splash of cola. Pepsi Blue, it's a blue thing.
Are you trying to set us up? We've made some deals before, but this can't be legal. A big and tasty for just $1.
The McDonald's Dollar Menu. Lots of choices, $1 each every day, including sandwiches like the Tender Big and Tasty or Juicy McChicken. Turn your dollar into something tasty.
Is this some kind of racket?
Welcome back, folks, and here again is our Chevy trivia question. Who are the only 2 SWAC players to finish in the top 5 in the Heisman voting? You say you know who it is, right? Okay.
One of them's coaching here today. I think that people know that's an obvious one. If you think more recently, Steve McNair comes immediately to mind.
Doug Williams in 77 finished 4th, and then there was Aaron McNair in 94 who had finished 3rd. And I mean, what did he throw for over 16,000 yards?
A million yards or something like that. Boy, was slinging it.
I mean, I remember when he took on Howard University once, the Bison jumped up on top of them like 35-3, and he just came out and ho-hummed his way back into that football game.
And ruined your night, didn't he?
Throwing 50-yard out patterns. And there's the other man right there, Doug Williams, who is a part of the College Football Hall of Fame. And you can see Coach of the Year in 2000 and 2001 in the SWAC, and was the Super Bowl MVP. Went to Tampa Bay coming out of Grambling. Then went to the USFL. I mean, he was everywhere, wasn't he?
You know how many young guys like me he inspired to be a quarterback?
Speaking of quarterbacks, Johnny Keith back in the football game. Oh, pass is complete to Nicholas Wells. How about that?
Nicholas Wells, hello, what have I found?
Wells has really been coming up large for this club recently, making some big-time catches. This is another one, and it puts Alabama A&M in good position.
Well, they put Johnny Keith in the game for some reason. He gets a big hit there from Antoine Smith, but it's to throw the football. Look at Wells. He kind of spins around a couple times and locates this ball over his right shoulder. That's an outstanding play of concentration on the ball by Wells, and there comes Johnny Keith with his first completion, and it's a big one.
Good for 37 yards, puts the ball at the 46-yard line. Keith gonna throw again. Look at downfield. And how about Octavius Bond with his 3rd pick of the ball game? He came in with 4, He's almost achieved what he done during the regular season in this ball game alone.
And it's amazing that the interceptions that he has had so far in this ball game have all been very easy because the passes thrown by these Alabama A&M quarterbacks have been absolutely horrible on the deep ball.
And Keith is hearing it from his back, Melvin Gideon, as Bonds, again, the junior from Chicago, who just has a nose for the football, has 2 fumble recoveries as well coming into the contest, and now has 7 picks on the year.
And Anthony Jones is just frustrated because he really can't get anything going in the pass game to open up this offense. It's been a year for A&M all season with the defense making plays and making things happen for them. And he's got to find a way to get this offense going. Obviously, the pass game is what they need to do to open things up and get the ball down the field. And Octavius Bond, right now the junior from Chicago, is really shutting down, single-handedly shutting down the pass attack of Alabama A&M. And Johnny Keith is the guy that Anthony Jones felt came in as a true freshman, can run this offense, throws the ball very well, threw for nearly 1,700 yards in high school last year. Felt like he was the man who can get it done for this offense. And so far, he's come off the bench after Robinson relieved him in the first quarter. Neither one of these quarterbacks able to get it done so far for this offense. The defense has played well. Even though they've given up some yards, they've only yielded 3 points in this first half, and that the offense has to put some points on the board if they're going to come into the second half with anything happening.
So Bruce Eugene on 1st and 10 at the 15. Pressure. He gets rid of it. Completes it to his receiver, Colquitt.
Complete to number 6, Calvin Colquitt.
That A&M defense right now is sitting on those routes, sitting on the deep ball. We saw the nice play on the corner. Now they're sitting on those inside routes.
And now Eugene has thrown for 200 yards here in the first half, as that one was good for 5, making it 2nd and 5. Eludes the pressure that time on the roll. That was a close one. Colquitt came up with the football, but they're going to say that it touched the ground first and bring it back, making it 3rd down and 5.
And that was the point that I was talking about earlier, when Bruce Eugene has to learn when to run the ball and when not to run the ball. That time he had plenty of room in front of him to run the football and get the 1st down, and instead he makes this errant pass that one-hops to the receiver. He had room to run to get the 1st down. He's got to make that decision more quickly and understand that the 1st down is more important at this point.
They've converted 2 of 5 3rd down opportunities, make it now 3 of 6. As that pass is caught at the 31-yard line. Clock still rolling. Well, they'll actually start to run it after they reset the football. Mobley, the linebacker, makes the stop. Not until the reception picks up 1st down yardage, as they'll now run that no-huddle offense. 1st and 10 at the 30. And pass complete. Colquitt makes the catch. Brought down by the cornerback Jamerson Baker, the redshirt sophomore from Milton, Florida. Close to another 1st down. He'll be shy of about a yard.
Notice there is no running back on the field for Grambling State right now. They are just in spread offense, 4 wide receivers, and just opening it all up right now.
Eugene, Anderson got popped, and they're going to be called for a penalty on that one. The defensive back never looked back at the football. He just took a shot at Anderson. As Levenante Turner is the man who's going to be charged with the penalty.
And Turner should be charged with the penalty. He never made any attempt at this football. He had a chance for an interception if he just opened his eyes and looked at the football. That should be a 15-yard penalty, and you got to tell that kid to sit down for a little while, because that was really a nasty play.
It'll be hard, though, to sit down Turner, the redshirt sophomore, who is also from Birmingham, because he has been a leader all year long in that secondary. And they need him out there against this potent attack, this potent aerial assault that Grambling State has. And again, he never looked back, and he took a cheap shot at Theron Anderson. Good to see Anderson is up and walking there.
And believe me, this is going to spark a little something between these two teams. You can rest assured that there's going to be some pushing and shoving going on after this play.
We've heard about bad blood. Joe talked about it earlier. The penalty is charged now to A&M, but we heard about it yesterday at the press conference. They were screaming at each other. And
we have a personal foul. Defense, be 15 yards from the previous spot. We also have an ejection.
That's right. I agree with that.
That's a huge loss.
And Anthony Jones is going to be upset, but you know what? That was an ugly, ugly play by Turner. He made no attempt on the ball. He made no attempt to even play the pass or play the play. He came up and just took a shot. You can make the argument, but it was a nasty play, and I think the officials are sending the message right now. They're not going to have it today. They're not going to have the pushing and shoving going on. They're not going to have a retaliation by Grambling, because he knows the official knows right now that Doug Williams is telling his team, cool off. Right. I don't want any more retaliation for that.
And again, we talked about it. The fact is that these two teams came into this football game, and there was some bad blood. I mean, when you have your quarterback, Bruce Eugene for Grambling State, starting to say things like they shouldn't even show up to this football game, it gets back. It gets back.
Absolutely. And yesterday at the press conference, Bruce Eugene was blowing on his championship ring like this is what we got and you don't have one, and really taunting this Alabama A&M team. A&M had a little bit of attitude coming into it, and you just saw the result of it right here.
So Levenante Turner, again, the young man who is from Birmingham, Alabama, will watch the rest of this one from the sideline as he's been ejected. His team trails.
Can I ask you one more question? Shoot. I've been following you guys for a while, and I know the business is really cutthroat. So what is it that separates you guys from all the other bands?
I'd say our lyrics.
Yeah, it's the lyrics.
Yeah, we're all about the words.
Oh, that's good.
Choose your own way. Introducing Kick from Singular, the prepaid option that lets you choose your phone and your features. Phones start as low as $69.99 with $40 of airtime.
Well, a little damage control here in Birmingham, Alabama, as Levenante Turner was ejected after this hit and Theron Anderson on the pass attempt. And we wonder if the officials did not know that there's bad blood out here and trying to, keep that down before it escalates.
And you never know what happened prior to that play. Maybe a little talking going on, and the officials heard Turner say, I'm going to get you back. It's kind of like when a kid gets suspended for school because he did something wrong, and the principal knows that everybody else is coming after that kid, so send him home so he doesn't get beat up. And that's exactly what just happened. Get rid of the guy that everyone's going to retaliate and also send the message to the other team, we're not going to have it today.
Meanwhile, Eugene went back to pass for Grambling State, and Brian Evans came up with a big-time sack, dropping the quarterback for a loss of about 6 yards, making it 2nd down and 16. And the Alabama A&M fans now starting to get off their feet as they're getting excited. This time, Eugene completes his pass to Anderson. Anderson may have dropped the football and they may have turned it over, but the official comes in and says he was down.
That time Anderson came wide open in the secondary. They finally got a chance to spread things out with this Grambling State offense. It's just a call the switch right. You see two DBs go with one guy. He's come left wide open.
And that was close. I mean, that was close to a turnover. But they're going to say that Grambling State maintains possession of the ball, plus they get the 1st down. Eugene has been perfect throwing the football on this drive. 5 of 5 for 41 yards. He's going to try to go 6 of 6. Has time, looking for Colquitt. And that pass thrown out of bounds as he was double covered. Johnson was the cornerback there, as we see Bruce Eugene picking himself up off the turf. They're going to hit him.
They are going to hit him every opportunity that they get, and he is getting up slow, and every time he's up slow, he's talking. You know, Doug Williams called him the Philadelphia lawyer because he's always right. He hasn't been right today.
His team leads 3-0 in a very tight SWAC championship game. Fourth SWAC championship. BET has been at every one of them. A minute 18 left here in the first half. Grambling State looking for some more. Eugene had plenty of time this time. Again, going to throw on the run. And Freeman makes the catch. Freeman makes the interception. Henry Freeman with his second pick of the ball game.
And great feat by Freeman just to tiptoe and make the play. An ill-advised pass, and you see the frustration level now setting in with Bruce Eugene. This time knows, look, not sure what to do with the ball, throws it up. Should not throw this ball at all, but watch the great feat by Freeman. Just get his feet right there and drag that toe. Great interception.
DeAndre Washington, number 75, is the man who forced him out of the pocket. And Doug obviously letting Bruce know.
Well, you talked about this earlier, about Doug Williams and his effect on Bruce Eugene, and he's always coaching. And the one thing that Doug Williams wants more than anything else, he doesn't really coach his technique. He wants him to make smart decisions.
A minute 4 left here, and if you're Alabama A&M and you're down 3-0, you got to be happy with that. Keep the ball on the ground and get out of here in the first half.
There's no question about it. This is Alabama A&M's first half. They've dominated in so many ways. I think in special teams they've been dominant, and that's been the field position battle. But they've also, again, they allow Grambling to run the field, but they don't let them in the end zone. Very effective half defensively.
2 years ago, these two teams met in the SWAC championship, with Grambling State winning 14-6. That was a very tight contest. Much like this one, as the clock continues to run, this will probably be the last play of the first half. And then they're going to give it to the back. This is Jeremiah Bonds taking it out to the 20. Going to be shy of a first, but it won't matter. As again, the last play of the first half just been run. Grambling's last 4 possessions, they've punted the ball twice and they've thrown 2 interceptions. So the defense of Alabama A&M living up to the hype that they brought into this football game. As Doug Williams' club, again, averaging 39 points a game coming in, with just 3 here in the first half. It's been all about field position.
And there will be 2 emotional locker rooms at the half, with Turner's waiting in the locker room right now to get his team fired up after the ejection. And you can believe that Doug Williams is going to talk to his offense about getting their game back on track.
So it's halftime here at Legion Field. SWAC championship, half over, and it's been the Tigers on top, 3-0.
Welcome back to the Southwest Airlines halftime report. Southwest Airlines bring people together with low fares. Hey, it's your man Joe Clay down here on the field. Let's check out the Alabama A&M band. Let's see how they're doing right now. They are getting it crunk.
Those sizzling dancing divas. White, and now the band moves to dance band formation where they will display multi-dimensional motion pack maneuvers to the tunes of 2002.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts and come along and ride the freeway of funk as the band moves at more than 300 steps per minute. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a small service announcement reminding all you Tiger fans to lay it down, lay it down. You're listening to the marching maroon and white band from Bulldog Land.
We'll be back with more halftime festivities and the Grambling Marching Band.
Casino for 4 days, 3 nights. Also gets $100 in Pizza Hut gift certificates and $1,000 in cash. Again, thanks to everyone who participated in this year's sweepstakes. Well, the show continues, and with that, we send you back down to JC Joe Clay.
Hey, let's just check out the Grambling State Marching Band. I don't want to say nothing. Just check out the band, baby.
Company is Miss Michelle Bilberry from Kansas City, Kansas.
One, two, my check. All right, private fan, we had the SWAC Championship. Yeah. Football team, represent the band.
There's a rebound to do. I want you to rap your city. We say rap your city. Come on and rap your city. We say rap your city. Now put your hands up. And if you're rapping to your shoes, put your hands up. Or come up, cause they're scared. And they're scared. And they don't know they don't want none of us. But guess what? That's what I want you to do.
George and Don will be back with halftime highlights and stats at the Southwest Airlines halftime report.
Championship, the 4th annual, where Grambling State leads by the score of 3-0 over Alabama A&M. George Johnson along with Don McPherson. And we're getting ready to take a look at these first half stats and highlights brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And as we take a look at the highlights, obviously, with not a lot of points on the board, it's been about, plays, misdirection, and some big hits.
And big plays on special teams. That time, the fake punt that didn't work for Grambling, and then this bad decision by Pickett, just nearly escaping a safety. And then Alabama A&M, even though they've been able to shut down Grambling State, can't get anything going on offense. Every attempt at throwing the ball down the field has resulted in an interception by Grambling State.
Octavius Bond with not one, not two, but 3 first-half interceptions for Grambling State.
And of course, Bruce Eugene comes back and throws one himself. He has had a difficult time in this game because of that right there. They have put a tremendous amount of pressure on him, and the hits have gone both ways. But then, of course, the big one that really turned the tide in this ball game was this hit right here by Turner, the free safety, that gets him ejected from the ball game, and it really shows the amount of emotion that's being played here this afternoon.
And again, you talked about it, the emotion at half probably being displayed by both teams in the locker room during this intermission as we take a look at the halftime stats.
Yeah, there's no question about it. They are going to talk at halftime. This is about the way both of these teams have played all season long, with Grambling State putting up some phenomenal numbers, but Alabama A&M putting up some great defensive numbers.
The Bulldogs trailing in this one 3-0. That is the way they have played football all season long. Head coach Anthony Jones says, we do just enough to survive. They're surviving so far. We'll have second half action for you right after this. Football, this the 4th annual SWAC Championship game, and it is a doozy, folks. No, not a lot of points. 3-0 Grambling State, but it's very close. And here come the Tigers with an opportunity with possession here in the second half. Octavius Bond with the return off the kickoff, and he takes it out to about the 36-yard line. Bond doing an exceptional job in this football game, but a flag has been thrown. It's lying back at the 22-yard line. Looks like the area of a bad block.
Yeah, I think it was a bad block by Cedric Young, the backup running back with a block in the back. And unfortunately, you probably will expect to see a few flags early in this half.
You think so? It won't have anything to do with how the first half ended, do you think?
Won't have any roughing implications.
Again, if you're just joining us, Leverante Turner, the starting free safety for this club, was ejected after a hit on wide receiver Theron Anderson. And so Alabama A&M now is down a man in their secondary as they're waving off the flag.
Ooh, and I called out the wrong man. I guess he was not guilty.
So Grambling State takes over, 1st and 10.
And I'll apologize to Cedric Young's parents at home. He didn't do bad.
So Grambling State takes to the field. 234 total offensive yards they've had after 2 quarters of play. Bruce Eugene in the first half, 19-37. The season high of attempts is 55, of completions 31, and he's on pace to breaking both those. 1st and 10, and again, what else? He's throwing over the middle. Pass is caught by Anderson. And for Anderson, that's his 8th reception of the ball game.
And for Bruce Eugene, that's one of his first passes, although he's thrown the ball short control passes, one of his first deep balls down the field that he threw a completion that was a controlled pass. When he can see the receiver's numbers, they're not throwing the deep ball. He's trying to throw the ball down the field and get some consistency and some rhythm.
So 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of A&M. Again, you see the clock going all the way down to 1. Eugene this time going to run, showing those nifty legs. Look at him, still on his feet. Finally knocked down at the 16-yard line of Alabama A&M. And they talk about the fact that Eugene is a little heavy at 245 pounds, 6 foot, but boy, he has great feet, and he displayed it there on the big-time run.
And George, and this all began, if you look right now, all those guys at the line of scrimmage right now, that is why Bruce Eugene was able to get so many yards after he decides to run. Once everyone comes upfield, you see Mathis, once everyone comes upfield on him, there's no one in the middle of the field to stop him from running. Everybody was upfield trying to stuff the play, 8 guys in the box.
32-yard gain on the play, and on 1st and 10, looking over the middle for Douglas. Defensively there was Wesley Bynum, and we'll make it 2nd down. Again, Eugene rushed for 442 yards this season, and he had 9 touchdown runs. That was tied for 5th in the SWAC. So not only could he throw the football, throwing for over 4,000 coming in, but when you can rack up 440 yards rushing the ball, obviously you can do it with the feet as well. And
he showed a great open field speed. He's quick. We know that he's quick, but he showed some good open field speed. Remember, this kid's about 240, 250 pounds.
Grambling, 2nd down, pass complete. Oh, and a nice move by Douglas to get free and give Grambling his first 6 points of the ball game.
And we talked about Bruce Eugene throwing the ball, controlled passes with his feet underneath him. This is the quick strike ability of this offense. You just watch him set his feet and fire this ball. When he steps up in the pocket, that ball is on the money. It's a shot. Talked about this kid in the open with the ball in his hand after the catch. He can make some things happen.
I was going to say, that's what you said. You looked at the yardage and you say, with the number of catches he has, but the yardage, it shows that he picks up big-time yards after making the catch. He picked up 17 on that one. Good enough to give Grambling State a 10-0 lead early here in the 2nd half. For those 3rd straight SWAC championship, this man right here, Kendrick Shanklin, was the man for the Tigers in last year's ball game against the Hornets of Alabama State. Grambling State, and a high-scoring affair would edge ASU by the score of 38-31. They were the undisputed champions in all of black college football and the #1 team. And no one could say anything about a club last year that finished the season 10-1 overall. Had just 1 loss, and that was to Alabama State during the regular season last year. So they came back in the championship game and got the victory. This year they're taking on Alabama A&M, a team that they beat during the regular season, and looking to do so a 2nd time. They lead 10-0. They're coming right back, the Bulldogs. And that young man right there, Melvin Gideon, giving his club good field position out close to midfield on a 21-yard return.
And there's a name we haven't called very much, George, in the first half, is Melvin Gideon. And Bondsfoot, the running backs for A&M, really haven't gotten off the mark yet.
Gideon, in that first half, rushed for just 13 yards on 5 carries. But this is a young man, 2nd team All-SWAC, behind Tanaka Counselor, Kenneth Peoples, those guys both named to the 1st team. Tim Robinson going to start the 2nd half. Oh, and a nice little spin move to free himself for a big pickup.
We talked about this kid being the one who's the runner. It's not just the option. It looked like there was supposed to be a little option, and then his fullback rolling gets out in front of him, gets a nice block there. But then the little spin move.
And that was very close to a clip, as Octavius Bond, number 8, had been able to turn the turn the play inside. Right. It looked like he may have got clipped in the back, but Robinson getting free, picking up good yards, 25 to be exact, and it's 1st and 10. Ball's at the 27. Heath looking for his receiver on the outside. That was intended for Nicholas Wells. In the first half, Tim Robinson, completed just 1 of 5 passes for 16 yards, but threw 2 interceptions. And both of them going to Octavius Bond. As you get a good look at the other freshman, Johnny Keith, who was also 1 of 5 in the first half. 2nd down and 10. Just about 13 minutes left here in our 3rd quarter. Just underway. Grambling State leads 10-0 in this SWAC championship game as Robinson tries to get to the outside. Finally chased down by Leonard Patton.
That's the same play. They ran it again. It's a little reverse pivot and fake to Roland, the fullback, and then Roland just leaks out and tries to lead block for Robinson. He got him the big gain a little earlier, but they have got to get the passing game going. I know this is a run team, and they can get things done with the run game, but they need to complete passes down the field to loosen up the Grambling State defense. And as Grambling starts to score more points, believe me, that defense is going to pin their ears back on this run game even more.
And you know the Tigers are going to gain confidence more and more with every point that they get. It's important now that the Bulldogs answer. Third down, they were 0-5. Third down, make it 0-6. As again, Octavius Bond, who has stepped up in this football game. Again, 3 interceptions, and he comes up and makes the big play for the loss here on Nicholas Wells.
Well, what gives a guy interceptions is the ability to anticipate the play, where the quarterback's going with the football. That time, Bond had the ability to anticipate what kind of play A&M was running when Robinson rolled to his right and then threw back to the left side. There was Bond right there, and once again, able to anticipate the play.
So now we have Rashad Kyler setting up for what would be a 49-yard field goal. Kyler.
Got it.
But the kick, it's up. Had plenty of distance, but off to the left. So the junior from Stone Mountain comes up short on the field goal attempt, and the Tigers take over with a 10-0 lead. As we have 11:28 left here in our third quarter. Let's go down to the field where Joe Claire has been working feverishly.
I'm in the stands, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm on the Grambling side, but there's some people with Southern University stuff. Why you got the Southern stuff, man?
This is home. I'm a Jaguar, okay? Forever. I'm giving Grambling the respect, but hey, you know, we own Grambling, okay? And they need to understand that.
Hey, did y'all hear that? They said that they own y'all. They said that they own y'all. I'm gonna let the fight start. I'll holler at y'all later.
Yeah, those folks, see, they're still carrying that victory from a couple of weeks ago, 48-24 in the Bayou Classic. Southern knocking off Grambling State. So no matter what Grambling State does today, they just want to remind them that we got you in the Bayou.
That's why the Bayou is so important. They will.
Offense, 5 yards. Still first.
You know, they don't wait until next season to start talking about we got you. They follow you to the next game and tell you we got you.
And by the way, I called down to Grambling State earlier this week and tried to get in touch with the folks down and get some information. They said, well, we had a Bayou Classic meeting. I said, you just finished playing the Bayou. They're planning for next year already.
And they're talking damage control.
First down play, and again, it's Eugene to Anderson, which has been a combination all day long.
Georgia, talk about his arm strength. Bruce Eugene's arm strength. That time, that was a 35-yard curl route. You see, nice push off and come back for the ball. Veron Anderson runs nice routes, but that ball was on the money, 35 yards down the field. That was a strike by Bruce Eugene.
Keep in mind, Tremone Douglas is the leading receiver for this team, but he's had problems with his ankle, problems with his thumb, and so now Anderson has had to step it up. He's averaged 4 catches a game, but has 9 thus far in this one, and another flag thrown. But Anderson really has stepped it up, averaging 19 yards per catch coming in. Just a junior from Jonesboro, Louisiana.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Still first.
So the Tigers going to step back 5 yards and get first and 15. Again, Bruce Eugene, who you're looking at, leading the nation, Division I AA in total offense, 378 yards per game. Points he's responsible for, 25 points per game.
And he'll go to Chattanooga on Thursday for the Walter Payton Award, and I would be very surprised if he didn't walk away with that award this year.
One of 3 finalists for that award. He's the best offensive player in Division I AA. Looking for Anderson downfield again. This time a good defensive play by the cornerback, Reggie Johnson. Johnson, redshirt junior, he's from Birmingham. And they said as the season continued on with this young man, his confidence grew more and more, and a great cover play right there.
Well, I tell you, the one thing about a corner is you better have confidence, because very often, especially against a team like Grambling that puts so many receivers on the field, you're going to be out there on an island very often by yourself. And I think Teron Anderson in the open field is the best receiver on the Grambling State team. In the open field, he just has the speed and the size to go after the ball. So that's a great coverage play by Johnson.
Eugene has several weapons he can go to. Again, good pressure by the Bulldogs as they force Eugene to throw that one away before he wanted to.
Yeah, that time the Bulldogs got a little bit of pressure from Ali Hassan, the defensive tackle, who put some pressure on Eugene without the blitz. And that, again, when you can do it, put the pressure on without the blitz, you can allow your secondary and your linebackers to drop back in coverage.
So that makes it 3rd down and 15. Tigers have converted 3 of 7 opportunities in this football game. Remember, 44% is what they did during the regular season. That was the best mark in the SWAC. So very good at making things happen on 3rd down. Good coverage this time by the Bulldogs. Eugene will run. Finally brought down. I mean, he was brought down very quickly. In pursuit was number 75, DeAndre Washington. Look at that big man running downfield to get that quarterback.
He had a long way to go here, though. He's got, once again, has to remember how far he has to go for that 1st down, and gets pulled down there. You're right, by DeAndre Washington. He got a piece of the shoulder pad, but once again, this A&M defense is doing a nice job of bending and not breaking. Other than that long run by Bruce Eugene in the last possession for Grambling State, the Alabama A&M defense has done a nice job of shutting down this high-powered offense.
A pickup of 10, but still 5 yards shy of a 1st down, and so now Wells will field the punt. Close to his 20-yard line. A flag is thrown as he tried to get loose. He lost yardage on that return.
He might get it back with a face mask call.
32-yard punt for Yanez. We've got a flag thrown down at the 15-yard line where Nicholas Wells was finally brought down.
Yeah, so many guys had a shot at him, and he started doing that schoolyard. Remember in the schoolyard when somebody come at you, you drop your head? Well, this time he got his face mask pulled down by Chris Brown.
Brown, one of the better players in the conference, especially at that cornerback spot. Going to cost his team 15 yards on that one.
Checking team, 15 yards, 1st down.
So instead of a 1st and 10 at the 15, they get good field position, the Bulldogs do, at the 30. But the Tigers have done a good job defensively of shutting down this offense of Alabama A&M. And they've got one guy in particular who has done a great job. We'll talk about him after this play. I formation. Ryan Robinson back in the game. Throwing on 1st down and nowhere close to Nicholas Wells, as the man defensively closest to the football was that man right there, Octavius Bond. You do not want to throw in the direction of Octavius Bond because he has been outstanding in this ballgame.
We talked about before his ability to anticipate the play. He's been there every single time on play action, doesn't get his nose involved in the run fake. He's been playing center field even though he's a corner. It seems like he's been playing center field on every single play, and part of it is the lack of discipline and experience of the A&M quarterbacks in throwing the ball, especially the deep ball. 3 interceptions for that young man, a junior from Chicago in this football game. Came in with 4, now has 7 on the season. Over the middle, pass is complete. That's Travis Martin with his 1st reception of the game, 9th of the season, good for 26 yards and a 1st down. You know, Robinson, he's showing a strong arm. He just has to get the experience. He held onto this ball a little too long. That's why he takes the shot right after the catch. But still a nice shot, nice accurate pass on the line in the seam.
Michael Degray is the man who made the stop, but not before the Bulldogs pick up good yards in now Tiger territory at the 44. Anthony Jones in his 1st year here at Alabama A&M, 8-3, done a good job especially picking quarterbacks and guys to lead this offense. And he seems to have a knack of who he wants, you know, a feel for who can do the best job. He's going with Robinson right now, and he picks up another first down on that run.
And this, once again, is that watch the fake to Roland, and then Roland's going to get a block right there. He starts to get a little bit of block on Patton there, but then Robinson does the rest himself with that spin move once again, trying to look like George Foreman, spin moving all the time. Chuck Foreman.
Chuck? Yeah, I was going to say George. I don't know if George ever spun.
It was Chuck Foreman from the old Minnesota
Vikings.
Got it.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 now at the 30. Robinson going to keep it again. This time he's dragged down by Willie Gray from behind after picking up maybe a yard.
Willie Gray a little slow getting up. One of those senior players.
You know, Gray is the kind of guy, number 74, that he doesn't have great numbers, but he's so solid, been around so long. 3rd year he's been named to the SWAC All-Conference team. This year a first-teamer. I mean, just a solid contributor, a senior from New Orleans.
You know, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Willie Gray, and he talked about meeting Coach Robinson and how in awe he was of Coach Robinson. And when he talked about being at Grambling, he said, I still can't believe Doug Williams is my coach.
Great tradition at that school. Pass was intended for the wideout Walter Shields. He was tripped up after going about 3-4 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I was a little surprised there wasn't a pass interference call there. Looked like his feet may have gotten caught up with Chris Brown right there, and a little bit of trip. Not much of a chuck. I think he just lost his balance. A good no call by the official.
So now the Bulldogs are faced with a 3rd down situation, and they are 0 for 6 in this ball game on 3rd down.
And that's because of their inability to throw the football effectively down the field. Now at 3rd and 9, they have no choice. They've got to put it up. Robinson
has thrown a couple of good passes on this drive. See if he can do it again. Setting up the screen this time as they get it to the fullback, Roland. And Jonathan is tripped up inside the 25-yard line. He's still going to be shy of a first down by about 4 yards.
Good play there by Antoine Smith. Reading the screen. Coming down the line with flat pursuit. From the right side of the screen, he's going to cut right through. You see the block there, but he got past the block of Woodard and was able to get a hand. And when you're Antoine Smith, all you need to do is get a hand on him.
You know, Antoine Smith is a guy who started out the season number 90 as a defensive end and played the end throughout most of the year. And it was surprising. I'm looking at the depth chart, and they had moved him to linebacker. And the 3rd leading tackler making some things happen. So now here we are with a 4th down situation for Alabama A&M. And we got a timeout on the field as the Bulldogs think about it with 6:28 left here in the 3rd quarter.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Dell Computer. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Back here at Legion Field, where we take time out to honor a couple of guys as the Dell Scholastic athletes. Devoris Nunn, the middle linebacker for Alabama A&M, the senior, 3.0 in electrical engineering. And the other guy was Brandon James, the offensive tackle, the senior from Grambling, Louisiana. Both of them all SWAC selections, so they not only play the game, but then study, find time to get their books done. And in fact, Brandon James is looking for his master's.
Yeah, and if you wonder why we haven't called Robert Mathis's name too often, it's because of Brandon James.
Today's Scholastic Athletes of the Game brought to you by Dell Computer. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell. 4th down now where Alabama A&M, 5 of 15, and he had a receiver all by himself in Nicholas Wells and misfires.
You know, the one thing that's happened to Alabama A&M when they've run that play in the past is that Grambling didn't go for it. They didn't fall for the run fake. This time they know that he's got to get there. So you see Ron Johnson, 55, and even Octavius Bond, number 8, gets sucked up because they know he's going to try to run for the first down. All he has to do is settle his feet, get his shoulders around, and drop that ball off to Wells, and he's got not only a first down, a possible touchdown.
Look at Doug.
Doug knows that's a big play right there.
Does Doug want this football game or what? I mean,
no question about it.
He knows that his team should still be considered the #1 team in all of black college football, although last week they did suffer the loss to Southern, a couple of weeks ago, excuse me, at the Bayou Classic. But as far as Doug is concerned, Tuskegee, who is seen now as the #1 team in all of black college football, Doug doesn't feel that schedule is the same as the schedule that he's played.
Well, he definitely thinks the SWAC is a much more competitive schedule, and the schedule that he's had to play, there's no question about it. Also, with the numbers that they put up, I'm sure he believes that his team is the best around.
And they have proved it pretty much throughout the season. Again, they won 10 straight until getting into that emotional game against the Jaguars of Southern, a game that Southern really needed because they had struggled this season. That's the kind of game that at least salvages their season somewhat. This pass is overthrown, intended for Calvin Colquitt.
And there's Robert Mathis right there in the middle of the screen, just coming free. That time he really had no one in front of him, as Brandon James is supposed to be there to give him a little help.
That's the closest those two have gotten all week long. They were supposed to take a picture together because you've got the Offensive Player of the Year and Bruce Eugene, and you see his numbers right now. Unbelievable what he has done. And there's your Defensive Player of the Year. They were supposed to take a picture earlier this week together, and Mathis wouldn't take the picture with him. From what I understand, he didn't want to get in the same room as him. So that's about as close as they've been all week long. Here comes Mathis again, but a good block by the tackle. Eugene, plenty of time. He's just going to run out of bounds.
Eugene may have hurt himself or been hurt on that play. He went down in an awkward way. He seems to be making decisions that aren't very consistent right now. He should just get rid of the football right now. He knows he doesn't have anything. Get rid of the football. You don't get hit when you do that, and you don't lose all the yardage. He needs to start making these decisions a little bit more quickly, and I know that's something that Doug Williams wants him to do more of, and that's make those quick decisions and get in and out of plays better.
And you don't nonchalantly walk to the sideline when the whistle hasn't been blown, because you don't know what'll happen.
Exactly. Especially in this ball game.
So that brings up a 4th and 12. Yanez will punt the football. Nicholas Wells again, back deep. Actually make that Neil Lindsay now, who's checked in as the punt return man. As that ball bounces right past him, going to be down to about the 34-yard line, which is where Alabama A&M takes over 1st and 10 with 5:40 left here in the first half. About Bruce Eugene running out of bounds and sort of nonchalantly and getting hit by the linebacker, and that's what happens.
They're working on him, trying to keep his back loose, his lower back, very lower back.
What is that heat? Is that heat you think?
Running a little heat on it, especially when it gets cold out here. You take a couple shots in the back like that.
1st and 10, and the Bulldogs going inside with their fullback, Jonathan Rowland. Picks up a couple yards, make it 2nd down. Alabama A&M trailing in this ball game, 10-0. Defense has played well against this young man, but I mean, A&M's defense this year has allowed 42 attempts, 20 completions, and already Bruce Eugene has 23 completions, 45 attempts. So he shadowed that, and they've allowed 247 yards passing. Eugene with 285.
And there's still plenty of football left to play. You got to think.
You think he'll throw again?
You think those secondary people a little shell shock?
Robinson going to hold on to it this time. And a good defensive play by Chris Brown, who was blocked and still had the presence of mind to make the tackle and defend Robinson from getting big yards.
Chris Brown has been consistent all year long on the corner for Grambling State. He's one of those guys, you look at his size and you think that you wonder if he gets a shot at the next level. He's just got so much ability.
6'3", 200 pounds is what they list him at. He's from Zachary, home of Doug Williams. As you get a good look at that defense of Alabama. I mean, it's 10-0, but this defense has played well. They've done a good job. It was that initial drive to open up the second half that hurt them. Robinson had nowhere to go. And how about Grambling State's defense? Has this been a lot of good defensive plays, or are you a little upset? Not upset, but I mean, when you look at the quarterback play of Alabama A&M, just not up to par.
Yeah, they just have not been able to throw the ball effectively enough to give Grambling State anything to worry about defensively. Grambling State knows that they can just focus on a couple of receivers and let everybody else pin their ears back and squish the middle of the offensive line.
Well, after that failed third down attempt, Alabama A&M 0-8 now in this ball game on third down conversions as DJ Clay takes the punt.
What a field special teams. That is an outstanding punt, pinning them down inside the 15-yard line again.
50. Meanwhile, back on the field comes Alabama A&M's defense, and they're led, of course, by Robert Mathis, the Defensive Player of the Year in the SWAC. And you know, he played well in the first half. How about the second half?
Still putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, putting a lot of pressure on this entire Grambling State offense and not allowing Bruce Eugene to set his feet. He's taking some shots, and it's been Robert Mathis who's not only done it by hitting Bruce Eugene himself or forcing him back up into the pocket, but he's opened things up for the rest of his defensive front as well.
But he's on the sideline. He's on the sideline. And the pressure's still coming. This time, pass is intended for Anderson, and a good play by the redshirt sophomore Jamerson Baker to come up and make the pop. And there's Robert Mathis on the sideline.
I wonder why he is on the sideline.
In a game like this, I would assume that your leader, your defensive leader, never wants to leave the field.
There doesn't appear to be anything wrong. He doesn't look like he's tired. He's not, doesn't have his helmet off with trying to get a breather.
Meanwhile, Bruce Eugene 0 for his last 5 in pass attempts. This time they hand it off inside to Carell Charles, 4th in the conference in rushing this year, averaging 5 yards per carry. Again, we told you, if you missed it first half, this man right here you're looking at graduated. He plans to come back next year and attend graduate school looking for his master's as he plays yet his final year with the Tigers. Third down now for Grambling. They are 3 of 8 in this ball game. 3rd and 6, and whistles before the snap.
Hit ball. Fence. 5 yard. Still third down.
So they're going to move Grambling State back. And, you know, this is a perfect time again to say it. Now, I don't want to keep harping, but the fact is, this is the kind of football game that Alabama A&M likes to play in. They hang around, they pin you deep in your territory, and they wait for opportunities to get victories.
And this is the type of game that Grambling State played against Southern and lost when they just could not get their offense going. And Southern managed to hang around, and then Southern really just dominated their second half when Grambling State just kept making mistakes.
8th penalty of the ball game for the Tigers makes it 3rd down and 11. Eugene over the middle, looking for his receiver, and just past the outstretched arms of Tremone Douglas. Douglas had gotten a step on the defender.
And they can be frustrated, they can complain to the officials, but it is such a low percentage pass. They have to do something a little bit more high percentage and get used to doing that to make plays. And you can't depend on that deep ball every time.
I just love the communication that Eugene and his head coach Doug Williams have. I mean, it looks like Doug can scream at him and say anything, and that kid understands what Doug is trying to get across.
Yeah, I'll tell you something, Bruce Eugene will come right back at him. You see him talking right back at him. Bruce Eugene, that's why Doug said he's got the answer for everything. Doug says one thing, and Eugene says, well, I saw this. And they go back and forth at it.
I just think they've got 2 more years to get along.
That's right.
Yanez with the punt. Wells was the man back to return it, but it looked like he was interfered by a couple of defenders of the Tigers.
Yeah, that's going to be a 5-yard penalty on Jimmy Zachary, who violated that 2-yard halo rule. Well,
the 36-yard punt had the ball out at the 45-yard line of the Tigers, but I've got a feeling they'll step this one off penalty-wise. Here it is.
And there's Jimmy Zachary, 99, who just violated that. But you know, he was tied up with Wells, and it's difficult to see because he and Wells were engaged.
A catch interference on the kicking team. 10 yards. First down.
Yeah, it looked like Reggie Johnson, number 4, also blocking-wise, was blocking that defender into him. Once again, we're here at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. We bring you another production of Black College Football brought to you by Southwest Airlines, George Johnson, along with Don McPherson and Joe Clare, the rest of our BET crew. This is the SWAC Championship Game. Doug Williams and Grambling State looking for their 3rd straight title. Here comes Alabama A&M on 1st and 10. And Bond this time. Bond. Gone. Touchdown. Alabama A&M. Jeremiah Bond got to the outside and was gone 38 yards. And folks, with 1:54 left in this one in the 3rd quarter, we got a brand new football game, still close.
Well, George, you called it. They just hang around and wait for something to happen. Johnny Keith is back in the ball game, so Grambling might be thinking pass. A nice block there on Antoine Smith, and then good blocks there on the corner and by Brown. Gave Bond the corner and the sideline to run. And these are 2 backs. We talked about them earlier.
And they go for 2 and get it. Rolling for 2. And how about that? Anthony Jones, he's not thinking I want to be down 3. He says a field goal will win this thing for me.
I love the call. It's a great call. It's a bold call at this point. It's just the snap. People always ask, why do they move that offensive front on extra points? That's the reason why. If the defense doesn't move enough guys over with them, you snap the ball directly to one of the guys behind that little wall over there. That's exactly what A&M did. I love the call because now they're a field goal away if their defense keeps playing the way they have been, and their offense gets plays like this. Bond tightropes the sideline and shows that speed that we haven't seen from one of these backs all day long because they haven't managed to get behind the line of scrimmage.
What was interesting is right after they got that 2-point conversion, we gave you a shot of Anthony Jones on the sideline with his backup linebacker and his special teams captain, Lionel Macklin, and he was so focused on where we go after this. He's not even thinking about, okay, success, laying on his laurels. He's still thinking about what we need to do to shut down this Grambling State offense.
And see the quick snap right there? They did that and got that play in so fast, which is why our cameras almost didn't get it. They got it in so fast, and that's because Anthony Jones knew exactly what he wanted to do when they scored. And that's a coach who's prepared for looking ahead because they got it out there very quickly, and they did it very quickly before Grambling State can adjust to what they do in their 2-point conversion.
A&M now 4 of 13 on 2-point conversion, so AJ has never been shy about trying to get that 2.
That's right. It's there for a reason. He's using it.
So now A&M down just 2, 10-8. Coming right back now, Grambling State on the kick returning. That was Delvin Lewis taking it out to about the 23. First and 10, ball at the 23. Going to stick around here as they continue to play football, SWAC Championship. And you get a good look again at Bruce Eugene. Keep in mind, they were rubbing him down just a couple of minutes ago, thus suggesting that he's probably a little sore. And I got a feeling the way A&M's going to come at him right now, he could get a lot more. Anderson goes in motion. 1 receiver split to the right, 3 to the left for Eugene. And here they come again. And he goes out to his lone receiver on that right side, Anderson. But boy, how about the pressure coming at Bruce Eugene on that play?
Well, there were 9 guys in the box bearing down on Bruce Eugene on that play. And that puts a lot of pressure on Bruce Eugene, but it also puts a lot of pressure on that corner, Jamerson Baker, who's out there by himself with Theron Anderson.
They pick up about 7 yards on the play, makes it 2nd and 3. DJ Clay goes in motion, number 21. Again, look at the guys in the box. Look at the pressure. Here they come. Oh! And that ball was knocked down Big number 96, Brian Evans. Evans with a sack so far this year. So far this game, he's been active.
And think about that. Once again, we saw one play in the first half where we saw a play by Martell Holt in the secondary and then in the backfield. That time we see Evans in the defensive backfield. So Anthony Jones is doing some creative things with his defense right now, dropping defensive linemen and getting his his defensive backs involved in the pass rush.
And also got to give a lot of credit defensively to Bronski Towns, his defensive coordinator, who was the coordinator with this club the past couple of years under Coach Cooper. And when they made the transfer of head coaches, they kept Towns around because of a defense like this. And on the miss, in and out of the hands of two players on that one. Douglas had a chance to come away with it, and he would have been gone if he had made the catch.
I'm going to say it over and over again. These deep passes. Look at the pressure on Eugene, and then these deep passes. This is exciting. It's close. It's all those things that you love in college football, but it's low percentage, and they're not going to maintain possession of the football throwing those low percentage passes.
A&M hanging around, folks. 53 seconds left in the third. Plenty of football left. The defense has picked up the intensity, and now the offense with an opportunity to come in, cash in, and maybe even take the lead away from the Tigers.
A&M finally gets the score, and Grambling does not come back and respond.
And the punter, Marcus Yanez, could not control the snap. He's brought down at the 20, and A&M, another great opportunity. They are opportunistic and displaying it again here on BET.
You're going to have a penalty probably against A&M, but I think it was after the change of possession.
Here's the problem. I mean, if they do it before, it was 4th down and 3. So if they even give them 5 yards, they get the first.
That's right. The question is whether or not the penalty was before or after.
Personal foul. But is it after possession?
I think the personal foul came after the tackle, after the play was blown dead.
Dead ball. On Alabama A&M, be 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was after the tackle of Yanez, they piled on him, and that's when the personal foul was. So
this is a linebacker trying to make this play, huh?
And it's a live ball. It's everything. The ball touches the ground. It's a linebacker. Now, he's not a running back. So they make the tackle, and then you're going to get a little piling on right there. I don't know where it was, but that's the personal foul part.
Boy, if there was a personal foul there, is it on that guy, right?
It's hard to say where the personal foul was. Maybe it was some taunting going on right there at the end of the play, but it was definitely after the whistle had been blown dead or the play had been blown dead.
Well, it would have been 1st and 10 at the 20. It's now 1st and 10 at the 35. But remember, Jeremiah Bond just ran the football for 38 yards in for a score. So,
and keep this in mind, 1 first down by A&M. This is going to push them back even further.
Still first down.
Now, 2 first downs by A&M puts them in field position, going back to that 2-point play and a shot to lead.
So you look at the penalties right now. Grambling with 9, Alabama A&M with 7. 16 penalties, and we still got a full quarter to go. A&M averaging 9 penalties a game.
So they're done.
So they're done. Okay. And again, there goes Bond. Bond getting loose, and Bond picking up close to 8 yards on that play.
And that's a big first down play, getting back some of that yards that they lost on the 2 previous penalties.
A&M had 2 running backs in the top 10 in the SWAC in rushing this season. Although we have to be honest, this wasn't much of a year when it comes to running backs in the SWAC, but this conference known more for the folks throwing the football, but the Bulldogs will run it as they still try to get some consistency at quarterback. Bond again on the delayed handoff, up the middle. Gets hit by the strong safety, Aaron Bridges, number 2. So we come to the end of 3 quarters of play. It's 10-8 Grambling State. Plenty of football left. Come on back. Quarter of play left in SWAC competition this year in college football. And it is 10-8 Grambling State over Alabama A&M. Now time for our third quarter stats, brought to you by Pizza Hut, home of the Big New Yorker, thin and crispy, pan, stuffed crust pizza, and more. No talk about pizza, just talk about numbers for me, okay, Don?
Well, look, number one, third down conversion right there, over 8. That is taking Alabama A&M off the field, and you saw the more first downs by Grambling State. They've managed to control the ball, but the key right now, the only stat that matters is 10-8, and Alabama A&M right now is in striking distance.
3rd and 3. Looking to convert on their first third down opportunity of the ball game as they hand it off inside. Bonds with the carry. They had to get it to the 25. He's close. Look at that mark.
I think he's got it. And yes, he does.
Was that a good spot? Was that a good spot?
I think it was a generous spot, wasn't it? No, I think it was a good spot. I think it was right on. I thought he fell on his head. It was across the yard marker, the 25-yard line there. And I think he got it. It was clean.
Jeremiah Bonds has come here in the second half and really run the ball well. Has that 38-yard touchdown.
Well, you can sense that Alabama A&M right now can kind of smell an opportunity here.
Again, that's how they like to play football. This time they hand it off inside to the fullback, Jonathan Rowland. Another player that they really, really like. I mean, they go to this guy Rowland. They will hand it off to him. They will throw it to him. We've seen him catch touchdown passes. I mean, he's the kind of fullback. And by the way, he's just a redshirt sophomore, so he too has a couple of years with this Bulldog offense. You wonder how much better they'll get as they get older.
Well, I get the sense that Anthony Jones, remember, Anthony Jones also is in his first year as head coach with this club. And so these guys are starting to buy into, in his first year, he's got him in the championship game.
Look at this backfield. Look at that backfield. Oh, they're going to fake it. Going to throw it. Pass was incomplete. It was intended for the tight end, Jacob Wilson.
You ask how close and how much better they're going to be next year. Next year, that play goes for big yardage. That's how close they are. They're doing the right things at the right time, and Anthony Jones has this team believing in what he's telling them to do. I'm sure he told them in this ball game, be patient. You heard him say it in the very open. If we're patient and we take care of our business, we'll be in this ball game, and that's what he told his team. That's right where they are. And that play just now that you just saw, that just end of the fingertip catch or miss is exactly how close this team is to a championship.
That's been the theme of the season for Alabama A&M. Oh, did you see that move by Bonds? Jeremiah Bonds.
Nice. I like that.
Bonds takes it inside the 15-yard line off the spin move.
Well, great blocking up front by this offensive line that we haven't really talked a lot about today. But you see LaCroix, number 72, the center, who gets out there in front of Ron Johnson, and then Bonds with a nice spin move, taking a little lesson from Robinson, his quarterback, on how to make that spin move in open field.
And Bonds made that move on Chris Brown, a big-time defensive back who could not make the tackle. A&M in the first half had 88 total yards. This half already 141. 7th play of this drive as they give it inside, and again going to be content to just work their way downfield. Again, they have themselves a nice little kicker and Rashad Kyler. They trail by only 2. 3 points puts them on top. And the way the defense has been playing football against Bruce Eugene here in the second half.
And let me tell you what's going through the minds of this offensive unit right now, and Anthony Jones on the sideline and this entire team. You know that you have a field goal. You have a great kicker in Kyler. You know that right now, theoretically in their heads, we've got the lead in this ball game. So let's take our time getting into the end zone here, take some more time off the clock, and keep showing Grambling State that we're a team that's for real.
Second down now. Heath going to roll, throwing into the end zone. Better be very careful. His intended receiver was Neil Lindsay, but I mean, he was what, triple covered?
Yeah, let me tell you one more thing that Anthony Jones had in his mind. Don't turn the ball over. Don't make any mistakes. And this would have been a costly mistake because Lindsay has Bond over in front of him and Brown behind him. Throw the ball away, live to play another day.
And Michael Degray was not too far away either. Degray was just about 4 or 5 yards in front of those guys. So here they are now in the red zone. 76% they've been able to convert into points in the red zone. As the delayed handoff goes to Bonds, and they don't pick up any yards there. But at least he gets the football in the middle of the field, making it an easier field goal attempt for Rashad Kyler.
Great point.
So here comes Rashad Kyler, just 6 of 20 on the season coming in. Or, yeah, 6 of 12, excuse me, 50%. This one is going to be an attempt from 29 yards out. From 20 to 29 yards, he's 2 of 6. Kicks up, kicks good. And Alabama A&M, as we said, they love to hang around. They do what it takes to get victories. They've done it all season long. And with that field goal right there, they take the lead 11-10 with 12-16 left in the football game.
What y'all want to say? Oh, we got a game down here, baby. Back up to y'all upstairs.
Anthony Jones has him dancing on the sideline. You know, he said in their first meeting, in which Grambling State won this year, 23-13, he said, we were not the same football team back then. We can't control what they're doing. We respect Grambling State, but we have no fear of this football team. We know what we did wrong in that first game, and it looks like they've come out in this ball game, and they have not been intimidated by this offense whatsoever.
And you got that sense, and you get that sense when you talk to different people in his program. When you talk to his assistant coaches and his players, they all know and believe they were a different team back when they faced Grambling the first time and earlier in the season, and they are a much improved team, and they're showing it right now.
And coming out of that game, they would reel off 6 straight wins after that, won 8 of their next 9, and that is why they are in this championship game with a very young football team. Bond on the return for Grambling State as they try to counter. Takes it out close to the 33-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10.
And you can say this at many points in a ball game, but this time I really mean it. This is a big drive for Grambling State right now. They have to do something to respond to what Alabama A&M did when A&M scored that touchdown in the last drive. They came back and got nothing, and Yanez got tackled and put Alabama A&M right back in position to score. This time, this offense has to get something going to keep A&M off the field.
Bruce Eugene, first half, 19 of 37 for 236. This half so far, just 5 of 13 for 56 yards. What kind of adjustments have the Bulldogs made?
Well, one of the things that they've done is that they've been off the field. Oh, that time, a near interception by Baker.
But Teron Anderson makes the catch. Yeah. Just his 4th reception here in the second half. He had 7 in the first half.
And Baker's really been put on an island, but this is good coverage, nice read, and break on the ball by Baker, who was very close to breaking that ball up.
Again, Baker, just a redshirt sophomore, so, you know, still a young man, still trying to sow his oats back there in the defensive secondary.
And these young guys are playing very well all over the field for A&M.
So now, Bruce Eugene, 25 of 51. He's thrown for over 300 yards in this one. But his club, with just 10 points, comes to pressure. Jamal Ware was putting it on him, and he had to get rid of it.
Talked in the open about Robert Mathis, and if they do block Robert Mathis, what about Jamal Ware? And that is not a good sign right there.
Jamal Ware, like I said, the SWAC's 3rd leading tackler. Just an aggressive player.
And Ware just came right up the gut, and I think it's like maybe he twisted up his ankle or his knee as he pulled Bruce Eugene down at the end of that play.
So we'll take a quick break as Jamal Ware hopefully gets up on his own power and gets off the field.
If you
back here, SWAC Championship, Alabama A&M holding on to a 1-point lead. This is how things happen. First, it was the field goal by Brian Morgan that would give Grambling State the 3-0 lead. They come right back then in the second half, get their first touchdown thanks to this 17-yard catch and run by Tremone Douglas. But then Alabama A&M responds, good defense. They put the clamps on him and then get the opportunity thanks to Jeremiah Bonds. And then this 2-point conversion run by Jonathan Rowe rolling. Made it 10-8. They come right back and get the field goal from Rashad Kyler. And that's where we stand right now. 11-10 as you get a good look at Jamal Ware, the third leading tackler in the conference. We saw him go off. He hurt his knee. And hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully it's just a cramp. But again, they need Ware out there defensively. And here comes Grambling State on 2nd down and 10. And they give it to the tailback, Carell Charles. And I mean, they don't run a whole lot. I think that's what, Charles' third carry of the ball game?
And that what makes Lionel Macklin's play in the middle all that much more important. He didn't fall for the fake down the field, and they're working on that right knee of Jamal Ware. And I think that he'll be all right. He seemed to, once he got to the sideline and got off on his own powers, doesn't look like he's in a lot of pain there, or a lot of concern. That young man in the middle, I think, is taking care of everything.
So now 3rd down, Grambling State has converted 3 of 11 opportunities. Eugene trying to get to the outside. Quick flip, quick catch. Douglas made the catch and made it at the 39-yard line of Alabama A&M. That would be enough for a 1st down if they say he made the catch. Guys still standing around like they're unsure.
They haven't made a call yet. I'm curious why not. Of course, everyone on the Grambling bench is saying he caught the ball.
And it looks like he did.
And I think that's a catch. But you talk about the arm strength of Bruce Eugene running one way
and throwing Ali Hassan out with the other arm.
Exactly. And from every angle that we've been given, and we've got cameras all over the place, and you got guys getting great shots, and it's a catch.
Again, the leading receiver in the SWAC right there, Tremone Douglas. Just a junior. He'll be back next year.
From the end of the catch and a 1st down.
Wow. So this penalty now will be charged to Alabama A&M at the end of the play. So it's an additional 15 yards against the Bulldogs.
Well, that's what all the debate was there was a flag that we couldn't see from up here because it was right along the sideline, but it was an after the catch.
They have been coming after Bruce Eugene. It may have been a late hit. Long after he threw the ball, you could see.
Yeah,
he said, Coach.
It wasn't me.
Said, Coach,
it wasn't me.
I didn't do it.
They can say 7-5 all they want. It wasn't me.
Sure glad it's not the pros, because they would have said 7-5. 1st and 10 at the 23. 10.5 minutes left. Clock still rolling, as you can see. Bruce Eugene and company looks like they woke up. After falling down by 1, he's going to throw over the middle. Douglas, touchdown. How about Grambling State? Answering quickly.
Gotta pull his socks up.
Your SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, Bruce Eugene, brings his club downfield quickly and answers that 11-10 deficit.
Well, they gave him the middle of the field. Tremone Douglas has his little bird thing there.
See, now what they're thinking is, if they kick the extra point, it's 17-11. So what Anthony Jones has done, he's put pressure on Doug now. Do you go for 2? Do you try to get that 7-point lead again?
The way this ball game has been played, I would. And the way that Alabama A&M right now is playing, I would definitely go for it right now. And they gave him the middle of the field, no pressure in his face. It's an easy throw and catch. Exactly right. Pretty ball to throw. That was Wesley Bynum on the coverage.
And it looks like the only man talking now in this timeout is Bruce Eugene.
Apparently the decision has been made.
So now Grambling going to go for the 2-pointer. 3 for 6 on 2-point conversions this season. They're 0 for 3 running it, but a perfect 3 for 3 when they throw for the 2-point conversion. So I would assume that he's throwing.
Well, and I think probably what that comes from is that they will look for them to come in with 4 wide receivers, spread the field out, spread it out laterally, and if there's nothing there, Bruce Eugene will take it and run it. Otherwise, they're going to try to throw the ball quick if nothing there. And that's probably why that stat is as it is, because they look to throw it first, and if nothing's there, Bruce Eugene has the option to run it in.
2 receivers split to the left, 2 to the right. He's got Correll Charles in the backfield, number 20. And it looks like they're running the option.
Ooh, I tell you what, you show your hand on your 2-point conversion, and they blow the whistle.
Red ball, ball slide.
Now it takes him back. And now Doug, do you think he's still thinking 2? Because if he goes for 1, a touchdown still beats him, and a touchdown and an extra point still beats him.
Yeah, and now it's a little different when you move yourself back there, you take it, but you've made the decision to go for the 2 and you stick with it. I like the fact that he's sticking with it now. He's showing his team that the game plan is intact.
Here's Eugene. Oh, he got hit, but he completes the pass again. Looks like it was the same identical play that they got on the touchdown. The pass over the middle to the same receiver, Tremone Douglas.
And George, as a quarterback, 2 things happen when you get beat up all day long. One is you get gunshot. The other is you learn to stand in, take a shot like Bruce Eugene just did, and deliver a strike. That was an excellent play by Bruce Eugene from taking shots all day long.
And with that 2-point conversion, Grambling State goes back on top by a touchdown and an extra point.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Singular Wireless. Introducing Singular Rollover. They're your minutes. Keep them.
Well, they continue to work on Bruce Eugene, who just drove his team downfield for a quick score to put them back on top 18-11. So now Alabama A&M gets the opportunity to answer, with Nicholas Wells back deep to receive the kick, along with Melvin Gideon.
And the way this game has been going, I would expect Alabama A&M to get something going on this drive and make something happen.
Who do you expect to be the quarterback to do that?
I think it's going to be Johnny Keith. I think he's the one who had the hot hand in those last 2 possessions.
This one is going to be taken by Gideon at the 9-yard line. And they close in on him very quickly. A 12-yard return off the kickoff. And now you can see old Momentum looks like he's putting on a black uniform right now with gold lettering.
And I'll tell you another reason why you want Johnny Keith in the ball game now is you get to the 10-minute mark in this game. If it gets down to the point where you need to drive down the field in a 2-minute offense, you want the guy who's a better passer. You don't want him to have to come off the bench to get that done.
From the 21-yard line.
So here comes Alabama A&M. 10:08 left here in the football game. I formation. Don's right. Johnny Keith is your quarterback. He's going to throw 1st and 10. He's looking downfield for big time. He's got his man. Pass is complete.
What did I tell you?
Walter Schurls. The redshirt freshman. Another young man who's going to be around for a while.
Unbelievable.
59-yard play.
And they come out just going deep. Not much of a play fake. No mystery here. Just throwing the ball deep and coming right back at Grambling at their own game, throwing the ball deep.
And they beat Octavius Bond, who had an unbelievable first half with 3 interceptions, and said, so what's your point? Ball at the 20-yard line. This time they hand it off inside for Johnny Rowland, the fullback. He picks up about 4 yards on the play. Make it 2nd down and 6. How about the guts that Anthony Jones has shown in this football game? He went for the 2-point conversion. He goes deep on a first down. Unbelievable.
And you're right. It is a matter of a lot of guts, because what they normally would do in that situation, what they've done all year, is go for a nice long drive, eat up some clock, and instead they go deep and get it. I think it's more of a testament to how much these players are believing in their ability to get it done right now.
2nd down and 6. Lindsey somewhat in motion. Johnny Keith going to keep it, maybe pick up close to 2 yards, but that's going to set up a 3rd down situation. With Keith in the ball game, one would assume they'll throw on this one.
You assume they would have come out and been a little bit more aggressive after that first down play and come out and get it done. And they had a chance on that last drive with second and medium, second and long, to make something happen. They went right back to that run play that with rolling on the fake and then the block. And that's Nolan, the left guard.
Well, today's fantastic move of the game is brought to you by Singular Wireless, introducing Singular Rollover. They're your minutes. Keep them. And this is the big play. Walter Sherrill's 59-yard pass play you saw just moments ago from Johnny Keith. And why not? And we thought it was going to be one play, and this one came back, and it was a much bigger play.
That's right. Bigger play. The fantastic move started at the sideline when that play was called from the bench.
So now here comes Alabama A&M. 8:30 left here in the football game. They trail by 7. Keith gonna throw, looking for one-on-one. Oh, Nicholas Wells had an opportunity to make that catch, working on Octavius Bond. Pass is incomplete, setting up a 4th down. So now, chest time.
So close, so close.
Wasn't a bad throw, huh?
Not a bad. In fact, that's what they call a throw behind. If you put that ball on a line and made it an easier catch, it could have been a completion.
But as a quarterback, you're looking down there going, hey, man, what more do you want me to do? I know as a quarterback, you
know that old thing that coaches would say that we quarterbacks love, if you touch it, you should catch it.
Should have caught that one. So here we are, 4th down now.
Oh, what a great call. What a great call.
Got some blocking. He's at the 5. Bonds, touchdown. Has this turned into a barn burner or what? Jeremiah Bonds off the screen pass. And A&M now is down 1. 15-yard play. His 2nd touchdown of the second half.
What a great call with the screen. Nice poise by Johnny Keith, selling the play down the field.
And look at that offensive line in front of him. Setting it up. Robertville Lewis, Nolan, and Kyler now. This is important right here.
Whoa, this is a big one.
16 to 22 point after. Oh. And they didn't get it. It was a bad snap. And Chris Gunn was the holder. Couldn't control it. And they blocked the point after.
It was a low snap. The ball dribbled back. They barely got it up.
1 point lead. We still got 8 minutes to go. A&M trailing Grambling State. 18-17 had a chance to tie things up. But a bad snap on the point after. Kyler's kick is blocked. And so now they still trail by 1 with 8 minutes left in the football game. Joining us now in our booth, Bob Nesbitt, the president of Al-America Bank here in Alabama, in Birmingham. And, of course, they're the title sponsor of this SWAC Championship football game. Glad to have you up here.
Thank you very much.
Obviously involved now with the SWAC. Talk about the involvement that the bank has with the conference.
Well, the city of Birmingham has been very good to us. We've been a very successful bank in the 3 years we've been open, and we decided this was a good way to give something back to the city. So when we found out that the SWAC needed a sponsor, we took advantage of that opportunity.
I would assume that there's other things that you want to be involved with when it comes to the SWAC. It's not just football, is it?
No, it's not just football, and quite frankly, it's historically black colleges and universities. Several of our people in the bank are recipients of educations from those universities, and this is our way of giving something back.
We're going to come right back to you again. We have the president of Al-America Bank here in our booth, Bob Nesbitt, as Grambling State. We'll have it 1st and 10, ball at the 33-yard line, 7:58 left here. So obviously having fun at this game right here. Talk about the turnout. I mean, you happy with the folks that came out to the football game?
Well, very, very much so. You know, of course, you always want the stadium to be completely full, but this is a great turnout for this event, and we're very pleased.
It's obviously all about the HBCs, you know what I'm saying?
It is,
when you
very
think
much
about
so.
it. So it's 1st and 10. You've been watching this whole game, right?
Been watching the whole game.
So, Don, you better move over because we got another analyst in the booth right now, okay? You got to move on over. 1st and 10. Bruce Eugene, who's thrown the ball well, going to go for big-time yardage, and Douglas makes the catch. And another big-time play for the Grambling State Tigers. This young man holding his hand, but still throwing darts here in the second.
We thought that he had a problem with his foot. Then we thought he had a problem with his hand. And you see Bruce Eugene right there holding on to his left side. But Tremone Douglas comes up with a huge play, a huge catch over the shoulder, beating Henry Freeman, who has been so consistent on the corner all day.
A 50-yard gain right there. Now, see, that's not supposed to be good to you, Ball. I mean, you're looking at Alabama A&M, right? I mean,
absolutely.
You got to be looking at the Bulldogs. Grambling State's not supposed to come up here and do this, right?
There's no way this game could be more exciting than it is.
Bruce, it is unbelievable. 392 yards Bruce Eugene has thrown for, but this time the defense of the Bulldogs makes the closure. So before I let you go very quickly, down the road, what do you guys thinking? What do you got planned?
Well, succinctly put, more of the same.
Okay.
We want to take advantage of more and more opportunities to support these universities and to get this kind of exposure for the bank.
Listen, I appreciate your time coming up here and talking to us.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Again, that was Mr. Bob Nesbitt, the president of All-America Bank, and they are the title sponsor of this SWAC championship game. Have a good day, sir. George Johnson, along with Don McPherson up here in the booth. Joe Clare is wandering around down there somewhere. I know we're going to hear from him before this game's all said and done. We still got plenty of football to go. 7 minutes left, 1-point lead for Grambling State. Gets that move. Oh, no, not anymore. They got another 6. Touchdown pass, this time to Theron Anderson. And they have found themselves wide open space down the middle of the field.
Well, that's the thing about this Grambling State offensive attack, is that it has a tendency to come on late in ball games, and we've seen this play so many times, and Freeman just got turned around. It seemed like Freeman was playing man coverage and thinking that he should have been playing zone, and was playing man coverage, and allowed Theron Anderson in the middle of the football field.
Bruce Eugene, 28 of 56 for 413 yards passing. And you just wonder if he's not going to get the football again.
Well, there's no question about it. He's going to get...
Well, unsportsmanlike on Grambling. Be 15 yards. Be assessed on the try.
So they'll assess that penalty, what? Not on the kick.
On the try.
On the try. So now... that's an interesting situation, because now if Grambling State doesn't convert on their extra point, it puts Alabama A&M in a situation where they can come back, get a touchdown, get a point after, and tie this thing up.
There's no question about it. We talked about how big the extra point for A&M was, and then they got it blocked. Now Doug Williams knows his team is in a little strange position right now, because it becomes a very important PAT.
It's a 35-yard attempt for Brian Morgan. Boy, did he put it right down the middle or what?
Wow.
Big time point after right there. So again, Theron Anderson over the middle, touchdown catch. Grambling State's up 25-17.
Men in Black 2 on DVD.
So we're back here at Legion Field. It's in Birmingham, site of the SWAC Championship. Get a good look at the Tigers.
Look at Tremone Douglas. These guys are as loose as you will find.
They are so confident, the Tigers of Grambling State. Here's Neil Lindsay on the return. The senior takes it out.
That's going to be another 15.
Lindsay did a good job of just looking at the officials and saying, listen, I don't want to fight him. Well, I do want to fight him, but I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not fighting anybody 10 yards behind the Grambling bench.
Yeah, maybe that was
they got him all hemmed up over there. Right. Just fall into the bench. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a penalty.
He went over the bench with him.
That's when you're in enemy territory. Hey, ref, help me out.
Good shot of Neil Lindsay. He was run out of bounds.
Well, that's going to put the ball.
Jermaine Carter.
Right, that's going to put the ball up there around the 50.
On the kicking team, be 15 yards.
So now it's a situation where you got 6:38 left, and you remember he came right out, and I'm talking about Anthony Jones, and he went for the quick strike, got the 50-yard big-time play, Sherrills. But now you're wondering if maybe this time around they don't bring the football down and take their time.
Well, there's plenty of time to take your time, but that style of offense has not worked for them all day long. So I would expect that they would have to keep it somewhat wide open.
Lindsay goes in motion. Johnny Keith is still your quarterback. Don Carlton, he said they're going deep still. Oh, that's a good throw. and Neil Lindsay just couldn't get to it. He had beaten his defender.
Somewhat wide open would have been it wasn't an understatement. I couldn't even believe it going for the house, and he had a shot at it.
It just went straight downfield. And
it looked like Lindsay, his momentum is taking him this way, and the ball's going this way. And he just couldn't get his balance to come back inside for the football.
Jermaine Mills, number 4, just a freshman from Baton Rouge, was the man defending or watching in that instance. But with the miscue, now that makes it second down and 10. That was, again, you said it, they would go for the big play, and it was open.
And now they have the field spread out again.
He picks it off to Nicholas Wells, and Bond, very good defensively, getting help from his middle linebacker, Ron Johnson, after a pickup of maybe a yard. And so it makes it set 3rd and 9, sorry.
That's the kind of play that Grambling State runs all the time. They spread it out, and then they bring a guy underneath on that short pass. And the defense just played it very well. The Bond and Ron Johnson played it very well, partially because they see it all the time in practice.
So now it's 3rd down, and they have not been very good on 3rd down in this ball game. They've converted just 2 of 12 opportunities.
Well, that play they ran on 2nd down is really a 1st down play, so now they have put themselves in a big hole.
But both of the 3rd down conversions have come in this second half. Over the middle, had 2 receivers, and it went in and out of the hands of both of them. It was a little high for his first receiver, Neil Lindsay. It looked like Nicholas Wells had an opportunity to pull that in and couldn't do it.
You know, I think that Johnny Keith got caught in the middle of that play about which guy to throw the ball to. They were both open.
Boom, and then boom.
And they both had a shot at it.
And that equals boom, boom.
It still goes down as 1 incompletion, though.
So Kyler will punt the football, try to pin the Tigers deep in their territory as we're under 6 minutes left. And again, a big-time punt by Kyler. But he has been big for this club. He's had some booming kicks. He's pinned them deep in their own territory. Rashad Kyler's done a good job.
He has done a good job all day long. You're exactly right. And even the blocked field goal was not his fault. It was a bad snap, and the hold was never really up for him.
47-yard punt right there, but it's been the A&M special teams. 2nd time inside the 5-yard line on the punt. First, they made the stop on the fake punt right here by Grambling State. Then it was George Piggott who made a bad decision to catch the ball inside the 5-yard line. Then the 2-point conversion, Johnny Rowland, which gave them a 1-point lead. Kyler then kicked the field goal, which gave them, actually the Rowland play brought them within 2. The field goal by Kyler gave them the 1-point lead, but then it was this offense led by this man right here, Bruce Eugene, doing this kind of thing, throwing the ball downfield that gives Grambling State the lead.
You know, I just don't understand. I know Bruce Eugene's numbers are amazing. He comes up with the big plays, but I just don't understand that you go and throw this ball deep again. You're deep in your own territory. You want to get a 1st down and get your feet out of the end zone. And that play just is not going to do it. That's either a touchdown or, you know, a 40-yard gain. But look, you're right. Once again, you have your team and your quarterback taking a snap in the shotgun with his feet in the end zone.
Maybe Doug's saying, hey, listen, you know, we still got the 10-yard out. Don't worry about it. He's throwing it again downfield over the middle. In and out of the hands of the defender. Jamerson Baker had a hand on it, and it would have been a big interception. Pass was intended for Moses Harris.
But that's my point, and it's low percentage and it's high risk, and you're taking a chance. And then the other thing you do when your quarterback is standing in his own end zone, you just pin your ears back and bring him some pressure. That's Hardy right now coming up on Ogletree, and then Mobley, number 17, gets a shot on him. You got too many guys getting a shot on your quarterback, and then your guy misses the interception down the field.
And then Doug looks at you and says, well, we still have the 10-yard out. So here it is. Let's see if we see it. 3rd down and 10. Look at Bruce Eugene. Looking for 5,000 total yards. Let's see. There's your out. Look at Douglas go up and make the catch, but he was out of bounds.
Okay. Now, let me tell you why I say low percentage now. And you're exactly right. You got a shot at the 10-yard out, and he should He was open.
Wide open.
Wide open.
If the ball had been low.
But Bruce Eugene didn't have the space to step up in the pocket and throw the ball in time. Now look what happens. Yanez, who takes some time in getting the ball off, is going to have 8 guys coming at him, and he is on the end line. Not a lot of room to get this kickoff.
So here comes Yanez, who again fumbled that last attempt off the punt. And got it blocked, but the big boy gets this one out. Not a big time punt.
He's got a wall.
Wells is now at the 15. No, actually, doesn't quite get to the 15. But still, Alabama A&M now in great field position with 4:47 left in the football game. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And we're all tied up. 30-yard kick, returned it for 16. It nets 14 yards. And again, that goes back with what you were talking about, being deep in your own territory.
You got to get the ball out, get your feet out of the end zone, give yourself some room.
But they've run the ball, what, 3 times?
If that.
But they've run, I know Correll Charles has run the football 3 times, but they don't have many attempts at rushing.
But the other thing is the passes that they tried down the field were not high percentage passes. At least throw a high percentage pass and get your feet out of the end zone.
So let's see now how Alabama A&M responds. They go to Bonds. And Bonds beat Bonds.
And a great play by Bonds. Octavius Bonds.
Bond, he's a singular Bond.
that was a great tackle coming off of the block. Because Bond had some running room there. I thought he had some room to run. And it really wasn't much of a block right there by Walter Shields.
No spin moves on that one. But the clock's still rolling. Approaching 4 minutes left. 4th annual SWAC Championship Game.
Same play.
Inside handoff for Bond, and this time it's Patton on the stop.
Same play, and that play depends on Leonard Patton taking somewhat of a fake and going upfield, and then Wilson, the right tackle, can wall him off. But that time Patton did not come up the field, and Wilson just could not get position on it.
It's now 25-17. If you take in consideration that it was 3-0 at the half.
Great second half.
We've had some good football here in the second half, as now both teams going to walk to either side and work on their strategy with a 3rd down and 7 situation for Alabama A&M, and them trailing in this football game by 8 points. Anthony Jones, 8-3 this year in his first season, spent 4 years at Morehouse, where he was 18-13, going against an old friend, a guy he was teammates with the Washington Redskins, Doug Williams, a guy that he was the roommate with, Doug Williams, the night before the Super Bowl when Doug came home with the MVP trophy. Speaking of MVPs, can we go to ours? Joe Claire, down on the field?
Look, man, it's hard down here on this field. It's emotional. I'm down here getting emotional. We got cues behind me. And, man, I don't really have no report because I don't really want to talk about it at this point, but it's emotional. It's a good football game. I hope y'all are watching. I'm praying for everybody. Back up to y'all up in the booth.
Joe's back.
Joe is back.
Joe's back, man.
No question about it.
Joe's back, man. Oh, good in this instance. Converting just 2 of 13 opportunities. Lindsey in motion. It'll be a big play right here, folks. Heath gonna fake it. Heath gonna throw. And a flag? Was a flag thrown?
It's gonna be pass interference.
They went for Shields again.
It's either a hold on the corner. There's only one thing it could be. It's pass interference, either offensively or defensively. And it's a hold against Grambling State, which is an automatic 1st down.
Holding on the defense. Be half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
And it's Octavius Bond against Shields. And a little bit of hole. You see the right hand of Octavius Bond was on the chest of the receiver. Hard to fault that young man. He's had such an outstanding day.
So here they are, 1st and goal at the 7. Hand it off inside the deep back. That's Jeremiah Bonds, who's seen most of the action here in the second half. By the way, Bonds is just a junior, so he's back next year as well.
This will be a very good football team next year. There's no question about that.
Not to take away from Grambling State, who also has a lot of guys coming back, including their quarterback, Bruce Eugene. Alabama A&M 1 for 1 in the red zone today. That resulting in a field goal, but a field goal won't help them here. Clock still rolling as you see Anthony Jones, the mastermind, the architect of this team this season. Oh, good fake. Keith over the middle. And he was looking for his tight end, Jacob Wilson. But again, there were 4 or 5 black jerseys in the vicinity. I don't know if he wanted to throw it around there.
He definitely should not have thrown it around there. I like the play call, I like the fake, the play action. And Shields just gets held up. Good defense by Brown, not allowing Shields to get into the flat, which is where he wanted to get to, that corner of the end zone. And that caused Johnny Keith to pull up as well.
So now it's 3rd and goal. 4 yards to go for a touchdown. Gonna run the option. This time Keith holds on to it, maybe gets to the 3, gonna set up a 4th down, and we are in 4-down territory.
No question about it. And Johnny Keith's running the option, not used to running the option very well. I said this in the first half. You have to make up your mind on what kind of attack you're going to have. And again, in this situation, you want Johnny Keith in the ball game because he's the guy who can throw the ball down the field, but he's not the guy who's going to run the option for you. So you have to make a decision on how you use these 2 quarterbacks. And they are going to discuss what to do in this situation. In other words, what play to run, not necessarily whether or not they go for the touchdown or for the field goal. A little prayer never helps, never hurts. Excuse me, it always helps.
Well, Alabama A&M is used to late game heroics, especially here on this field. They did it this year earlier against Alabama State, trailing the Hornets, and get the late touchdown right here from Jeremiah Bonds, and then they needed the 2-point conversion to seal the deal, and they throw off play action to the fullback, Johnny Rowland, and would come away with that victory over Alabama State. Another football game that they just hung around and hung around. L.C. Cole maybe feeling that his Hornets might have the victory in that one, only to have it snatched away from him late in the ball game. As the final there is 23-20, Alabama A&M. So now 4th down, they try inside, and the Tigers stiffen and say no way. On 3rd and 3, Anthony Jones decides to go smash mouth, and the Tigers put up the stone wall.
You know, you wonder, you say to yourself, is that they took a timeout and that's all they came up with was this running play up the middle? Everyone could have thought of that, but you get to the point where you can overthink things, and I'm sure that's what Anthony Jones was thinking. We have to prove, and said to his team on the sideline, we have to prove whether or not we're worthy of this championship, and that means beating them at the point of attack, beating them in the game of football. Let's take it up the middle, and Grambling State's able to stuff them and prevent the touchdown.
And obviously it was the middle linebacker, the leading tackler for this football team, Ron Johnson, the senior from Baton Rouge, who made the initial tackle, the initial hit on the running back, Antonio Wallace, the fullback from Orlando. So now they'll hand it off to Pharrell Charles. There are only 2 minutes left in this football game. So now we start talking about Doug Williams. and the season that his club has had this year. They did lose a couple of weeks ago, Thanksgiving week, to Southern. They come in 10-2 on the season, 6-1 in conference play. But the real question is, are they the #1 team in all of black college football?
Well, they came into the game number 2. They win the championship. They struggled doing so. There's going to be a lot of debate of whether or not they did enough tonight to earn that #1 spot.
Tuskegee going to tell us, no way. We are the #1 team. We deserved it. We played well all year long. The folks at Grambling are going to say, well, you are Division II. There's been this big dispute because black college football is split division-wise. 1AA, represented by the MEAC and the SWAC. Division II with the SIAC, the CIAA, and yet all of them grouped together when it comes to being ranked nationally. Very tough situation. We'll wrap this thing up from Birmingham when we get back. With just 1 minute and 9 seconds left, away from their 3rd straight SWAC championship, and flag on the field, which gives us an opportunity to bring you today's player of the game, brought to you by Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. Red Fusion, who's your soda, and who's your player of the game? It's this kid right here, Bruce Eugene. 2 touchdown passes.
Got off to somewhat of a slow start. But when this guy catches fire, the arm strength, he shows the physical ability. And the thing that I admire that he did today was he took some shots early. He took some shots all game long, but he hung in there and delivered the football when he had to.
So 3 touchdown passes, excuse that. He now has 43 on the season,
which is phenomenal.
9 rushing touchdowns, so he's responsible for, what, 52 touchdowns this year? And remember, he's one of 3 finalists for the Walter Payton Award to be announced next week. And after a performance like this, how can you hold this kid away from being considered the best offensive player in all of college football in Division I AA? How do you dispute that?
Well, he heads up to Chattanooga on Thursday, along with Villanova quarterback Brett Gordon and Eastern Illinois quarterback Tony Romo, for the announcement of the Walter Payton Award. And I can't imagine that he does not walk away with the Walter Payton Award.
So what did Gordon do and what did Romo do?
Well, Gordon completed 308 of 459 passes, 67% of his passes for 3,400, a little more than 3,400 yards. And Romo threw for about 3,000 yards, just under 3,000 yards and 33 touchdowns. Neither of them come anywhere close to what Bruce Eugene has done all year.
Now, see, I'm hoping Doug doesn't have a plug-in on our broadcast, because if he hears that this kid is just 10 yards away, we'll probably, see, there's the snap. Back into the end zone. We call it a safety. So that now will make it 25-19. Danger there.
Which is what he has right now on top of the screen. He's got a quick out.
Throwing downfield. Oh, and it was intercepted.
And he's going to score.
Grambling State's.
He is going to score.
Preston King. Actually, check that. Chris Brown is the one who makes the interception and takes it back 65 yards to secure the win and give Grambling State its 3rd straight SWAC championship. Waiting for Chris Brown all game long to make a move. He does. So with that having been said, Grambling State wins the SWAC championship. For Don McPherson, Joe Clare, and the rest of our BET family, I'm George Johnson. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next year.